Come hang with the Woodward Sports Crew all throughout football season on Saturdays and Sundays. Join our college football and Detroit Lions live watch parties.
Inside the 5, caught, end zone, touchdown Detroit Lions!
With money on the line. Featuring different special guests and surprises. Start times will vary depending on the game. Only on our Woodward Sports YouTube channel.
I've got nothing to say, but it's okay. Good morning,
yeah,
good
Flannel.
morning, let's go. Surprise, we got Flannel Sam and Stick in the house. Jeff Iafredi will be out today. He will be back tomorrow, but welcome to the Morning Woodward Show live on the Woodward Sports Network. It is Thursday, September 14th. We are live from the Planet Fitness Studios. We got myself, Flannel Sam. We got Sam Stick Day back on the morning show for the first time in what seems like forever.
Good morning.
The great return.
Hey, here we are. What's up? People get up this early still? Like, I've been sleeping into like noon every day. Like,
Just for you,
nice.
Stick. They're waking up today just for you.
Oh, this show's been still going on?
It's been still going on.
Damn, you guys have kept it going?
I don't know how. I don't know how without Stick. It would seem impossible, but we certainly have persevered. Two Sams chilling at the desk.
Yep.
5 feet apart. I'm not going to finish that. But anywho,
All right,
we got
Flannel.
Well, this got off to a weird start.
JV always
we
in
got
the booth.
JV Smoove in the audio booth. Of all the JV Smooves in the world, you're the JV Smooviest. How you doing today, man?
Oh, I appreciate that. Thanks, Sam.
JB, can I get that's a no for me, dog, a tribute to our thumbnail?
That's a no for me, dog.
You know who I got this autograph from? Randy Jackson from American Idol.
On a samurai sword.
But of course, as always, this man needs no introduction. We got Lucas Klotz in the audio booth today. You know what? That bark, it gives me life, man, for real.
The juice, baby.
It is the juice.
Ski mask is on the way, Flannel.
You know what?
It'll be here tomorrow. It'll be here. Ski mask Friday.
Well, congratulations. Do what thou wilt. I will say about that. We've got a jam-packed show for you guys today. The Seattle Seahawks, the opponent for the Lions this Sunday, might not be at full strength. We're going to talk about how that could be an advantage for the Lions. And Lions tickets, especially given the fact that this is probably the most anticipated season I can remember, they're a little bit pricier than they've been in years past. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to get into a prominent actor, comedian / Detroit native as some pretty lofty predictions for the Lions, and a certain quarterback that we have known to love is maybe being a little disrespected by a certain website. But first, we are going
Oh, Jared Goff getting disrespect? Imagine that.
Hey,
When are y'all going to listen to me? I've been saying it since day one. We'll get into that, though.
We
Go
will
ahead,
most
Sam.
certainly get into that. It sounds like you're already into it. But first,
Oh,
speaking...
I've been fighting that fight for so long, since that dude got off the plane here and had security walk him into Birmingham Roast. I've been fighting for Goff, and it's just so nice to be able to watch some stuff here at Woodward Sports and go back and be like, oh man, while everybody was clowning me, making fun of me for liking Jared Goff, we'll get into all that. I'll give you my reasons. You should already know them by now, but thank you, Jared Goff, for making me look like a smart man.
so far. But, that's neither here nor there. That is neither here nor...
Stick and play him.
That is neither here nor there. Well, as we all know, on Monday night, one Aaron Rodgers, he went down for the season with a blown Achilles. And when you watch that New York, yes, very, very sad.
It's called karma, motherfucker.
Are you serious right now? Are you serious?
I'm
Stick?
serious. That guy's the worst teammate of all time.
Bro, are you
the worst teammate of all time? What he did to his teammates in Green Bay, and then he found his love for football again in New York. Oh, yeah, you know what you should have found? Your paycheck that Green Bay was giving you. That should have been enough motivation to give your best. That should have been enough motivation to show up to every preseason. That should have been enough motivation to show up to training camps to get your new rookie wide receivers up to snuff. But no, what does he do? Does drugs, which is fine with me. I do lots of drugs. He's cool doing drugs. But I don't do it at the expense of my teammates.
Stick, I can actually say right now that you might just be a bad person. And what I can't stand about doing a show with you sometimes, and this is all love, is that you can actually say that and actually think that you have some sort of moral high ground. There are going to be people in the chat that are just like, clapping like seals because it's Aaron Rodgers. Imagine if I would have said something like that about Tom Brady, gloating about him being
Tom
injured.
Brady doesn't fuck over his teammates. Tom Brady takes pay cuts to make his team better. Tom Brady sacrifices everything that he can do. Tom Brady has won multiple Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Tom Brady hasn't been shoved down my throat as a great quarterback who
He is
flops,
Aaron Rodgers isn't a great quarterback.
who flops in the playoffs.
He doesn't.
You didn't
flop
let me
in the
finish.
playoffs. He doesn't flop.
Aaron
in the playoffs.
Rodgers doesn't flop in the playoffs.
He's had great numbers. That's
Greatest
always-
regular season quarterback. Good job.
All right. But he
We're
has
5
done
minutes
a lot of
into the
winning
show.
in
This is
and
gonna
he-
be
Flannel is
this
already
show's gonna
triggered
be a
right now.
doozy.
This isn't even on the prep.
But it's not just Tom Brady. If I would get killed if I said that about Drew Brees, I'd get killed if I said that about Phillip Rivers in the end of his career, Matt Ryan, even Ben Roethlisberger. But since it's
All
Aaron
better
Rodgers,
humans.
We don't Ben Roethlisberger. Are you sure about that? But you know what? Let's keep the show on track. I want to get everybody involved here. I don't want it just to be my vendetta with Stick. So first off, speaking of Tom Brady is a name that, of course, since Aaron Rodgers went down, it's a name that's sort of brought up as, oh my God, could he come in and quarterback the Jets? Maybe be right the ship, because obviously Zach Wilson does not appear to be the answer. And the Jets, as you saw on Monday night, they were still able to get the win. You still see that they have a championship level defense, and their special teams, they got them a game-winning punt return in overtime. But Tom Brady, he apparently says no. He's done with playing football. The Jets don't want to reach out to them. The question is, Stick, and I feel like I already know your answer, should the Jets reach out to Tom Brady?
Of course. The Jets should be reaching out to everybody that has ever played quarterback. They should be calling Trent Dilfer. They should be calling everybody.
God.
Hey, he won with a great defense. Jets have a great defense.
Trent Dilfer.
But honestly, if I'm the Jets, I'm turning over every leaf possible. What's the worst he can say? No?
Yeah.
It's like when you're at the bar. Shoot your shot, guys. The worst thing she's going to say is no.
That is actually great advice.
Yeah. Shoot it.
Because the ones that you regret the most are the ones you didn't actually try for.
Right.
It's better knowing the answer. What do you, Lucas?
There could be some more regretful things than not asking a female. I could think of some regretful times where I maybe wish that I didn't ask a female out. You could go down the drain either way.
But what is the great song by like Zed featuring Foxes say? You get clarity, and that's what that would be. JB
Okay.
Smooth, how would you feel about the Jets reaching out
clarity
Jets reaching out to Tom Brady? Do you think that's something that they should do? And second of all, do you think Tom Brady could actually come back and do something with this team?
I would be surprised if Tom Brady actually came back to this team. But yes, Jets need to reach out to as many veteran QBs as they can right now. Whereas Tom Brady, Ben Roethlisberger, which is probably a bad idea. Colin Kaepernick has thrown his hat in the ring of this
Of
as well
course he
too.
Yeah.
Just anybody
here.
possible, because it's evident that they do not believe in Zach Wilson at all, and I kind of feel sad for the kid.
Well, at this point, like, why would you believe in Zach Wilson? Because he's shown basically nothing. I know he kind of righted the ship and they won the game
He
still,
looked
but that was
solid.
more. I don't know about that. I mean,
Look,
when,
besides that pick, he looks solid. But, I mean, he's still a young quarterback. It was the first game of the season. He had a bad pick, but besides that...
He's had a whole offseason under the greatest Aaron Rodgers. How could he not have improved?
Wait a minute. So when Zach Wilson fails, it's actually Aaron Rodgers' fault now because everything's Aaron Rodgers' fault. But you know what? That's
if he
fine.
didn't
That's
turn
fine,
his
Stick. We
feelings.
will never agree on that. And Alex Merrill, he actually echoes our sentiment, Stick. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
true.
And that is 100% true. And it applies to a lot of areas of life. So, Lucas, would you be down with Tom Brady going to New York, and should the Jets at least inquire?
I mean, the Jets should inquire, but it's not going to happen. And I don't think even if it did, like, okay, the Jets get to the playoffs. You really trust in that Tom Brady? Because, again, Jets have a great defense. Offensively, they have a great run game, but they still got to go up against Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. When you have Joe Burrow coming out of there, I know he looked rough. Josh Allen and the Bills are still going to be legit. The Dolphins look legit. So reach out to him, yeah, but there's no chance I actually see it happening. There's none.
No,
Yeah. Tom Brady does have 1 year of eligibility left at Michigan. He could go play quarterback at Michigan for 1 year. Did you see
we're
that
fine.
conspiracy theory floating
dear
around the
Lord.
internet? You see that,
No,
JB?
I didn't even see that. Wait, what?
Yeah, so I guess apparently Tom Brady has 1 year left of eligibility in the NCAA level because of when he left. And now that he's no longer technically considered a professional at playing football and he's retired officially, he has 1 year left to play at Michigan. We could see Tom Brady suit up. Flannel Sam, what would you do? How hard would you get if Tom Brady ran out of the Lloyd Carr tunnel?
I wouldn't get hard at all because it's not going to happen. Because at this point, I would prefer J.J. McCarthy, this version of J.J. McCarthy, over 45-year-old Tom Brady going back to Michigan. It's such a ridiculous thing. I'm not even going to entertain that. But yes, we got a jam-packed show. We got Coach Walk 37 in the chat, Big Play Jay, Joey 2 times, Phil. Pretty much all the regulars. Thank you so much.
Everybody in the chat.
Absolutely. And Matt Broder's in the chat. I saw, who else did I see in the chat from Who's Got the Wrench? I do see Broder. I see Herb Nash. I see Jack Harrington, Matt Verville. Matt Verville is quietly becoming one of the MVPs of the chat. EFOG, all of the usuals. Thank you so much for always supporting every single day. And this is something, I want to get to this really quick before we go to break. Well, actually, but first, let me tell you about something that has a 100% approval rating, and that is the Woodward Sports Lions post-game show.
Me.
Hey, it's Stick and Maz. Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stickday will be hosting our Lions post-game show after every Lions game all season long. Tune in on the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for us hot off the press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Maz, Stick, and special guests each week directly following every Lions game exclusively on the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. And this is something...
Why does Maz look like a Chippendale stripper in that picture? He looks like he's coming at you ready to take off. Come on. Maz is giving you a lap dance stare down in that picture.
All the way from Jersey.
From Jersey, the mighty mouse.
The mighty. I didn't even think about that until now, but thank you for that. Hey, that's
how my brain works. You're welcome.
That is one of the reasons that we love Stick around here. But speaking of people that I think we all love right now, how about CJ Gardner-Johnson? And this is something, Stick, that you actually wanted to talk about. I believe it was Corey Woods who put out a tweet that basically said that could C.J. Gardner-Johnson be this Lions version of the Detroit Pistons 2004 going to works Rasheed Wallace? What do you think about that, Stick?
I loved that sentiment when I read it, and it got put on my timeline, and then it started to blow up, lots of retweets around Detroit, and and then I started to really think about it, and then the ski mask thing popped up, and I'm like, okay, now it really makes sense, because remember Sheed brought the championship belts, like that little thing, that little just. Our friend D-Mac says that caveat that fires people up, that gives people an identity. And next thing you know, this guy's talking about ski masks, right? And that's, to me, it's just showing that he wants the unity of the fans. He knows how to drive the Detroit culture. And he's what we needed as Detroit Lions fans. Like, that was kind of the one thing missing from the team last year. And I think that's been missing since Ndamukong Suh left. Who's that guy that would get in your face? Who's that guy that would punch another guy for you as a teammate? And it may cost us 15 yards in some game down the road, but it doesn't matter because in the moment, in the culture, that's what we want. A bunch of dogs that have each other's backs, and then you look up in the stands, you see a bunch of dudes in ski masks where they got your back too. Ford Field is going to be so loud on Sunday. It's going to be unreal. And I love that this guy, even if he just upped it 2%, they're already at 1,000%. Now we're at 1,002. And it's just going to keep building with this guy, keeps jawing, keeps running his mouth. You saw it in preseason, when we were playing the Jags. He was over there running his mouth. You saw it in the first game. He's an emotional leader. And we lost that with Jamal Williams. But Jamal Williams was a nice guy, emotional leader, right? Yeah. Nice guy. We love Jamal. Hey, fun guy. I want to go hang out with that guy. CJ's the guy you want to rob a liquor store with. And that's why he's bringing out because this guy's going to have your back if a shootout starts. You know that this guy's going to be there for you. And I love everything he's brought to the table, and that's what Sheed brought here in 2004. They had the pieces, right? But you go from Mehmet Okur to Sheed, little bit of a swag difference.
Just a little bit.
Little bit of a swag difference.
But I would say the best thing about C.J. Gardner-Johnson and Rasheed Wallace, and I know that you would agree, is that they are damn good players. And I would ask you, JB, what can C.J. Gardner-Johnson bring to this team? What has he brought to this team? How valuable is C.J. Gardner-Johnson to the Detroit Lions?
Well, it's everything that Stick just said. I mean, C.J. brings that swagger, that confidence back to this Lions team that has been missing for a while now, and comparing it exactly to the Pistons as well too. As you said, Rasheed brought the belt. Everyone was in photos with Ben and the afro. I mean, it just made the team look so much cooler than any other team going right now, and I believe that's exactly what's happening to the Lions. As Stick said, hey, you might see some people get robbed after the Seahawks game. I'm just saying.
We're going to be the nicest guys in ski masks ever.
Exactly.
Like, it's going to be ruthless in that stadium. Like, absolutely. Imagine being a Seahawks fan. Like, you bought your tickets in the offseason. Hey, I'm going to Detroit.
We won last year.
Yeah, well, we beat the hell out of it last year there, and the fans were so nice. And
They
you
didn't
show up
even
this year,
punt.
and it's just a bunch of dudes pulling their masks down. Like, it's going to be an environment that I absolutely love. And, you know, Detroit's responsible enough. They're not going to take it. It's not going to become the Raiders where you're stabbing people and stuff like that in the stands. It's just, it's going to be hostile in the right way, which I love. Like, it's teamwork, it's energy, it's chaos. I just can't wait to see. I've been waiting my whole life for this. The Lions have never had an identity, ever. No turnover chains, no thrones, no nothing. We always tried to steal from everybody else. Now the Lions have an identity, and it's a ski mask. Does anything else fit Detroit more?
Flannel, Stick, I don't know if you heard, Flannel doesn't like the ski mask.
I don't love it.
Of course he doesn't.
Why
Why don't you like it?
I mean, first of all, I mean, they did kind of rip it off from Hunter Dickinson, but that's neither here nor there.
Here we go.
No, I'm just saying. You know me. I'm not a rah-rah guy. I'm not a fan of all the extracurricular stuff. I just want to see the Lions play well on the football field, and I think they will have a damn good season. I predicted them before the Chiefs game that they would win, and they did. I think that they're going to win 12 games and win at least one playoff game. I think Ford Field is going to be one of the most hostile environments in the NFL. It's just with the whole ski masks thing, I just think it could backfire. I think the rest of the league might just look at it as what the hell is Detroit doing, and they're going to laugh at us. I don't understand it.
But Cleveland can wear dog masks?
Ski
Are you
masks?
kidding me? A guy in the Raiders outfit can dress like Legion of Doom? This is come on. What are you talking? This has been going on in the NFL forever. And now we actually have our own. And how about Washington where they put pig noses on?
All right.
Are you kidding me? And we're embarrassed about a ski mask?
I mean, I would never wear one in a million years, but you guys can all wear one.
I ordered mine. Mine's on the way, man.
Mine's supposed to be here tomorrow, Stick.
Yeah.
Same as mine.
Yeah.
I would have bet every single amount of assets that I own in my life that Stick, you would love this and you would be the first one to because I know you, Stick, and it's all well and
listen,
good.
I used to work in top 40 radio,
Yeah.
right? We're playing Justin Bieber, we're playing all the pop, and I used to send emails to my staff with a ski mask and a crowbar, like, "Hey, we're getting ready, let's go to work." Like, and that's the mentality, and that's
Going to work Lions, baby.
there you go. Pick up that lunch pail and let's go.
All right. Well, we're gonna go to break, and coming up next, speaking of that matchup this Sunday at Ford Field, it's looking like the pathway to victory for the Detroit might be a little bit more paved, given the fact that the Seahawks have a couple of big potential injuries, one injury for sure. But first, after this game on Sunday, what should Seattle call if they're feeling not so good after that?
The sports marketing agency, they got that new podcast that you can go and check it out. It's all about helping with the stigma about asking for help. Listen, we're all tough guys. We get it. But we all go through some things. Life is not easy for everybody. I've been through my ups and downs in the past 5 years. A lot of people in this room know about it. But we bounce back, and it's okay to ask for help. So go to the sports marketing agency. That is thesportsma.com.
Since the dawn of moving people, Chevrolet has led the way. The world of transportation is changing. At Feldman Chevrolet, we are leading the charge forward. With every electric vehicle, every mile traveled, one Feldman at a time. The company that puts more Chevys on Michigan roads is now the #1 name for Chevy electric vehicles.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
Hey, this is Mr. Kearney, Chief Academic Officer, Academy Warren. I want to welcome you to the brand new field house. The state-of-the-art facility has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, soccer field. It can be used for 7-on-7 football. Our K-8 academic features AM, PM, latchkey, small classroom sizes, Learning Street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Holton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, K-8 athletics, and more. Enroll today at academywarren.net.
Join Woodward Sports and Long Drink live this Sunday for the official Lions VIP tailgate party. It's at Eastern Market in Shed number 5, and it is going to be a bash. Starting at 9:30 a.m. until game time. The official Lions tailgate is back and better than ever. How would you like to pregame it with Woodward Sports and be treated like a VIP? Food, beverages, and entertainment all included. Get your tickets online today at bullseyeeventgroup.com or win some from Woodward Sports today. Just subscribe to our YouTube, follow us on Instagram, and direct message Lions VIP.
Yeah, DJ Don Mecca
Absolutely.
gonna be out there in the mix. Shout out to Don, man.
Yes, shout out. It's going to be a day unlike any other. And welcome back to Woodward Sports, Morning Woodward Show live on the Woodward Sports Network. I am Flannel Sam. We got Sam Stick Day on the desk. We got JB Smooth in the audio booth, and we got Lucas Klotz on the ones and twos. And speaking of this Sunday, they've got a matchup against the Seattle Seahawks. The Seattle Seahawks team, which is, I would say, limping into this game following a 30-13 loss at home against the Los Angeles Rams and giving up 100 yards receiving to Tutu Atwell and Puka Nacua. Not Cooper Kupp, not Van Jefferson, but those two. And not only that, they are coming into the game. They just placed their offensive tackle, Abraham Lucas, on injured reserve and signed 2 linemen off of other practice squads. And also, Charles Cross might not play for the Seattle Seahawks either, and he is arguably their best offensive lineman. And considering the game that Aiden Hutchinson had last week, in which he had 7 pressures and 3 quarterback hits, you would think that Aiden Hutchinson is kind of ripe to feast in this game, and even a James Houston or a Charles Harris or a John Kaminsky. So Stick, if the Seattle Seahawks are missing both of their tackles, how much of an advantage is it for this Detroit Lions team?
That's an extreme advantage. I mean, what's the best strength of the Detroit Lions on the defensive side of the ball?
It's either their pass rush or their DBs.
All right. Well, now you just gave their best strength your biggest weakness. And, you know, sometimes it's just like boxing. It's a game of matchups. And the Detroit Lions have an opportunity here to show. Last week, they didn't get enough sacks, right? And a lot of it had to do with the offensive lineman jumping off sides every effing play, starting 3 yards deep in the backfield. This week, I expect to see at least 4 or 5 sacks. At least 4 or 5 sacks. I mean, you're going against second stringers. You're putting your best out there. As far as I know, everybody on our defensive line is healthy. They got a little in them last week because they didn't play in the preseason, so they got their conditioning under them. This is a retribution game from last year where you let up over 40 points and your offense scored 40 points and you still lost. So I think all those pieces come together to where Dan Campbell is going to dial up these defensive linemen and just let them loose on Geno Smith.
Yeah, Geno Smith, who did not play very well last week himself. And JV Smooth, I'm going to go to you too. How big of an advantage is this for the Detroit Lions if they're playing against a depleted Seattle Seahawks offensive line, which really isn't that great in the first place?
It's a huge advantage. It's another factor in our favor once again. Because, I mean, if you look at it, Geno Smith is going to be running for his life. That Seahawks offensive line is going to have to double someone, whether that be Aiden, James Hutchinson, or James Houston, Romeo Okwara. Like, they're going to have to double someone, and it's just not a good job for. It's not a good day for Geno Smith. I can tell you that right now. He will be running for his life, and I'm hoping that once he gets out of that pocket, Brian Branch can come back and just lay the smack on him.
Ooh, man, wouldn't that be something else? What if Brian Branch had another great game? That would be amazing, and it's perfectly within the realm of possibility. And Lucas, I honestly thought that the Seahawks offensive line versus the Lions defensive line is an advantage even if the Seahawks offensive line is fully healthy. But if they're missing both of their tackles, one of them for sure, and Abraham Lucas, just how big of an advantage is it for the Detroit Lions?
Well, I mean, we all like the defensive edge rushers for the Lions, right?
Sure.
And now the Seattle Seahawks are down their tackles. So what do you think the Seattle Seahawks are going to be game planning for? Stopping Aiden Hutchinson off the edge, stopping James Houston off the edge, stopping John Kaminsky off the edge. You know what that's going to do? That's going to help out one Aleem McNeil. And I think Aleem McNeil is going to potentially have his breakout game in the season. I think he's going to eat. I think we could see him potentially be like he was against the New York Giants and sniffing out that run game and looking like a Chris Jones type of player. I'm not saying he's that, but for 1 week, Flannel, you agree with me, he did. I think the interior pass rushers, I think Josh Paschal is going to have a big game as well just because his athleticism on the inside, and I think Aleem McNeil, along with Hutch, because they're still not, they can double team Hutch all they want. That man's still going to eat. I don't care. So I think between that, we're going to get pressure on the inside. I think the Lions are going to have a solid unit when it comes to stopping the run inside as well, just because they are still going to have to game plan for Hutch and Kaminsky on the edge, and they're going to have no problem setting the edge. So they're going to be turning all those running backs inside. I think the interior defensive line and linebackers are going to eat on Sunday.
Are they
as well.
activating Bugs for this game?
I think he was. He put something out on social media. I'll try to find the post and put it up later on like 9:40. But
Yeah,
they made it
Because
seem
that's
like
an impact
yeah.
player you're going to want to watch for if they activate him. To me, he was a huge part of the defense last year. I mean, you heard Dan Campbell mention his name pretty much in every post-game press conference last year about he didn't have the numbers, but it was because of him occupying space that opened up the edge rush for others. So I anticipate Bugs. And a good comment here, Caston Reed in the chat says, Geno ain't dropping back 30 times. Kenneth Walker's going to eat, which is fair. Pete Carroll may go to that game plan. But the problem is, if you can't pass protect, I don't think these guys are going to come in and dominate the run blocking either, right? Your second string is not going to come in and dominate Aiden Hutchinson on the run blocking end. They're going to get pushed around.
Sure, and I get it. Kenneth Walker is one of the better up-and-coming running backs in the NFL, but I really liked what I saw from the Lions' run defense last week against Kansas City. Pretty much rendering Isaiah Pacheco and Clyde Edwards-Helaire non-factors. As I said before, the only runner who really was a threat for the Chiefs last week was Patrick Mahomes off of scrambles. And Lucas, you mentioned Ali McNeil and Josh Paschal. Those are two players that I would say performed very, very, very well for the Lions last week. I'd say Ali McNeil had a quiet, very, very good game. Josh Paschal made a couple of plays. And if they can continue that good play against Seattle, that would just be such an advantage for this team. And I think having that advantage in the trenches, I think that the Lions have it they have the defensive line to offensive line advantage over the Seahawks, and on the reverse side, their offensive line is better than the Seahawks defensive line. I don't know. I think this is a great matchup for the Lions to actually win this one pretty comfortably. I know that you never want to make those proclamations too fast, but I like this matchup for the Lions. I think that they get their revenge. And Stick, do you think that's actually a factor? Seeing what the Seahawks did to the Lions last year and was one of the most embarrassing losses of last season, probably the most.
Yeah, and it's not only the loss. Don't forget, Seattle's the one who kept them out of the playoffs too at the end. So I don't know. The loss is one thing, but that last game when Baker Mayfield couldn't get the job done, Baker Mayfield couldn't get the job done, but either way. Yeah, I think it's about more than that. I mean, these guys kept them from their ultimate goal last year.
Yeah.
These guys put a beat down on them in their house. There's a lot to put on the bulletin board this week and a lot to point to. And just challenge your guys. Dan Campbell's going to use it to challenge them. You know, if you lose to these guys again, everything we did week one is worthless. You understand that?
I don't know.
What do you mean? It's null and void, because if you go 1-1, that's like losing to Kansas City and then beating Seattle. How would you feel then? You're like, okay, the Lions, I'm still not sure what they are. So if they start out 1-1 after this great start, then you come lay an egg at home, 65,000 fans, standing room only, ski mask wearing mother, in the stands. You can't lose this game. There's a lot of pressure on the Lions, and they're built for it. I'm okay with the pressure building, but this is what happens when you have a team with expectations, and people expect them to win this game. So you got to use whatever motivational tool you can, whether it's, hey, these guys kept us out of the playoffs. Hey, Darrell Bevel, who used to work with us, was their offensive coordinator. Like, whatever you need to do, you gotta get your guys ramped up. And I think the Lions, that's one thing Dan Campbell does at an exceptional level at all times, is motivate.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because if you would have told me before the season, and I'm kind of curious to see what you guys think briefly, if you could have been guaranteed before the season that in the first two games you would start 1-1, I would have taken it versus risking going 0-2, even at the potential benefit of going 2-0. But that's the thing when expectations change.
Yep.
You go into Kansas City and you win. You play a Seahawks team coming off of an embarrassing loss at home to a Rams team we don't think is going to be very good, and they're kind of limping in with their offensive line looking depleted. So that's kind of the thing. Expectations change, and I agree with you. Anything short of a win on Sunday, I think would be a huge disappointment. I don't think it would make everything null and void on the season, but it would absolutely be just, especially so deflating, especially considering the hype going into this game. I mean, would 1-1 be a huge disappointment if they lost at home to Seattle?
I mean, I think so, because if we're just going to be looking into the season and saying, 1-1 against Seattle and Kansas City, I would feel okay about it. But now you have the context around it where all the injuries that are going for the other side, and the Lions are pretty much healthy now going in this week. I know Emmanuel Mosley's kind of, is he going to play this week, next week? We don't really know when he's going to return. But the Lions are the more healthy team. I think when you really put it down against both teams, they're the more complete team than Kansas City week 1, considering no Travis Kelce or Chris Jones. I'm still not going to put the asterisk there. I don't give a fuck about that. That's a team that you got to go and play. You still beat Kansas City and Campbellhead. Then you go week 2. Seattle doesn't have their tackles. That is enough within itself. So the fact that these are both teams that the Lions are better on paper than, and then the Lions have this home field advantage, I would say that's a huge disappointment, just because, to Stick's point, it's like, okay, what are we really? We just went into Arrowhead and won, but we just lost at home to Seattle when
you don't know how to read this
Hutchinson
team.
had the guy from a community college 2 years ago blocking against him. So, I mean, not literally, but you get what I'm saying. Like, he's not going to have a top-tier tackle defending him.
Absolutely.
So.
And Gritville, USA says, undefeated at Ford Field, Stoke not scared. I'll tell you what, I'm not necessarily calling for it, but the pathway is certainly laid out.
Stoke not scared. Stoke not scared.
Yeah, undefeated at home, 500 on the road. That's the success. Like, that's the playbook to get to the playoffs and to have sustained success in the NFL, and that's what you need to do.
And that would make you a 12-5, 13-14, which I think everybody would take a million times out of
Every
a million.
year.
Absolutely.
Every year.
And speaking of the Lions, when we come back, we're going to talk about how much you guys would actually pay to go to a Lions game this year. Because if you check the secondary ticket prices, even standing room only, it's not necessarily cheap, and it's certainly different from years past. But before we do, Stick, tell us about Randy Wise.
Well, what could be better than watching celebrities like D-Mac and Braylon play golf? Playing golf yourself and being treated like a celebrity. Stop in any Randy Wise dealership for your chance to play golf like a celebrity. I'm talking VIP transportation, free golf at one of Michigan's best tracks, and a tasty steak dinner after. Compliments of fairway packing. Make the wise decision. Get to Randy Wise today for your chance to win.
Calling all landscapers. This is Darren McCarty. I'm at Outdoor Equipment Co. How would you like to landscape like a legend? How about a bad boy zero turn? And even a chainsaw. And even a weed whipper. So register today at OutdoorEquipCo.com, and even you could have D-Mac on your landscaping crew.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
Your home is your most important asset. Flexibility in the sales process is key. When you work with Mark White & Associates, you can cancel at any time, for any reason, without penalty. Speaking of flexibility, check this out. Who you work with matters. Hire the best broker in the game.
How would you like to win a $100,000 Vegas getaway? Take your friends and live it up in the city that never sleeps. It's the Cintron Energy. Drink it and live it. Purchase a 24-pack today and enter to win. Register at drinkcintron.com/Vegas and buy Cintron at your local Meijer store. Cintron, the healthier energy drink with great taste. Look good, feel great, and be the best version of yourself with Cintron. That's drinkcintron.com/Vegas. Pushing on through the morning Woodward show, we are back live on the Woodward Sports Network. I am Flannel Sam. We got Sam Stick Day in the house. We got JB Smooth on the audio booth and Lucas Klotz in the ones and twos.
JB bringing the beats right now. I like that.
JB, what was that one beat you dropped yesterday? Do that next break where me and Jeff are like, oh yeah, he's cooking.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I got you.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. You know, I'm glad, because sometimes those beds in the audio booth, you kind of get confused sometimes, but I cannot wait to hear that coming back from the next break. But we're going to talk about Lions ticket prices, and just because this season, I have never seen anything like it. The Detroit Lions, the anticipation, especially for this home opener, there is a buzz around this city that only a good Lions team could bring about. And I think one of the reasons the buzz is so high is because obviously 2014 the Lions made the playoffs, 2011 they made the playoffs. The Lions have had some winning teams in recent memory, but with this team you just look at it as systemically, it's very, very sustainable. They've built it through the draft. Brad Holmes, we trust him implicitly. We already think I'd say most of us think that he's the best GM the Lions have already had already.
What's Matt Millen?
Yes. But yes, be Matt Millen. But yes, it's just there's something about this team that has kind of captured the hearts of this city, and we think this is a team that's probably gonna own the NFC North for years to come, and not just this year. And coming into their home opener against the Seattle Seahawks, I pulled up Vivid Seats right now. The cheapest ticket for standing room only is $156 a ticket, which is actually a little lower than I thought it would be. $165 for upper level, $178, $180, and those are the prices for admission for Detroit Lions games this year. This isn't the Lions team of years past where at some of the later home games you could get into them for like $20-$30.
What did you say the prices were again, Flannel?
All right, $156 each for standing room only. You've got upper level $165, upper level $178, $180, just the high 100s.
Yeah,
and it only goes
For
goes
standing
up from
room
there.
only.
For standing
Lions
room
fans.
only. But the question is, Stick, and you can't answer $1 million. How much would you pay for Lions tickets?
It depends on the game. Like I've talked. If the Lions host a home playoff game, I am gonna mortgage my house. I don't care what the hell I have to do to get into that. And then if they win, I'm probably gonna flip my own car in my own driveway and set it on fire. Like I've been waiting for this. Lions fans, we love you too, Miss Hamp, for what she's done. Always got to give our flowers to her. Sure. Speaking of, we can do a little sidebar on her, but since she spoke last year about having Dan Campbell's back, I think they're 9-2. So either way, thank you, Mrs. Hamp. But either way, I would pay whatever. Honestly, if the Lions host a home playoff game, I'm getting up into the thousands of dollars because I know I'm witnessing history at that point. And whenever you can witness history, it's worth the price of admission. I'm okay with that. If it's this game against Seattle, I'm hyped to get in it. Maybe I'd drop a couple $100. I'm not gonna do standing room only because I'm just not gonna do that. I would rather go to a sports bar with like a huge big screen TV and hang out with a bunch of people and do it there. But I'd pay a decent amount. I can't believe how much people are paying to get into this game. I can't believe we're at this point with the Detroit Lions, when just 2-3 years ago people were handing out tickets. You could get tickets from scalpers right before the game for $10.
I remember I got the Lions versus Cardinals game when Ermanni had that. Sorry, just pissed me off thinking about Ermanni real quick. Not shout out, but hope he gets better. He was carted off the field yesterday, so it looks like his season's done. But when you had that pick six and Kyler, the tickets to that game were $29. And I bought them the Saturday night at like 7 p.m. and went to the game the next morning. That's not going to be able to happen this whole season. You probably can't get tickets to most of the home games anymore. I think they're all sold out.
They're all sold out.
All sold out.
You cannot get legitimate tickets. Like you cannot go to DetroitLions.com and get tickets.
Yeah, don't buy them.
You can get them from that dude, but we can't guarantee those. And that's what's amazing is it's going to push so many fans. And I'm kind of the old guy around here at Woodward Sports, being 41 years old and whatnot. And I talk to you guys about the 04 Pistons and stuff like that all the time. Like the Palace was a nightclub. It was not basketball fans. It was girls in little dresses. It was dudes that really didn't know about basketball. And that's one thing that success does, is it opens it up to like the broader, all of us hardcore guys that have been here through the tough times. We're not going to be able to get into the games like we used to. It's going to be some dude taking his girlfriend because she wants to go be seen at the Lions game now or something like that.
Yeah.
It brings in fringe fans, but that's okay because that means you have a winner in town. And that's what Ford Field's going to turn into. It is going to be an absolute party inside there. Yeah. It's not just going to be going to a football game. You are going to be attending a social event that is exclusive and hard to get into.
Exclusive.
It's hard to get into, so people think it's exclusive. Even though 65,000 people are in there, it's still hard to get into.
Yeah. And the funny thing, you mentioned the Pistons, the going to work Pistons, even the Redwings, the 2002 and 2008 Stanley Cup teams. You were in your prime living years back then, so you probably remember what it was like to have successful teams, and both of those teams also had a lot of sustained success. The
Yeah.
Pistons obviously won one. They went to one after that and lost.
6 Eastern Conferences
yeah,
in a row.
6 Eastern Conferences in a row. The Red Wings had themselves basically like a 12-year, I don't want to say dynasty, but 4 in 12 years is absolutely insane.
Yeah,
And
it almost
yeah,
became like
yeah,
you expected the
yeah.
Red Wings to win a Stanley Cup, and like going, after the first couple, you're like, I don't need to go to this parade. Now you're
so
like,
wild.
oh man, I die to go to a parade.
Are we saying that the Detroit Lions could actually be that? I know that's a big ask, but they're going to be good.
Yeah, they can be that. I mean, look at Vegas. If
Yeah.
Vegas says it can happen because they're not there to lose money.
No, they're not. No, they're not. And Ryan's reaction in the chat, and everybody here in the chat, drop what you would pay for Lions tickets. Ryan's reaction: I'd pay $1,000 for a playoff ticket, and that's actually, I'm not gonna lie, that's not actually far off from what I would pay. But we shall see. Because, and here's the other thing: I think every single person in this room, correct me if I'm wrong, thinks that the Detroit Lions will play a home playoff game this year, which would be the first home playoff game the Lions have ever played at Ford Field, believe it or not, which is absolutely
And only
insane.
the second in our lifetime. Like, let's not just minimalize it to Ford Field.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, it's in my lifetime only their second home playoff game. They only have one playoff win in my lifetime. And like I said, I'm the old guy around here. I'm 41. I'm a man. I'm 40.
Yeah, Stick. I mean, if they haven't had one in your lifetime, they have not been a successful franchise, but that is about to change, and I think we all agree with that. JB Smoove, I know that you being the degenerate gambler you are, you might win a lot of money in some of your bets, especially if your Lions bets pay off. How much would you pay to go to a Lions game this year?
I gotta agree with Stick. It depends on the game. I definitely would like to go to that Monday Night Football game against the Raiders. Just to see the crowd, us on prime time. Also, they're honoring Lomas Brown as well too. But yeah, playoffs. Yeah, it's up there in the thousands, man. I'm not gonna lie. I spent like $400 to see Lil Wayne one time. Like, hey, I might have to break the bank for this one too.
No, I don't blame you for that. But if you want some of the best Lions coverage at Woodward Sports, Stick, tell them about Woodward and Maine.
Woodward and Maine featuring our girl Gabby D. Phillips, Matt Broder. Shout out to the former Space Dog, Matt Broder. And of course, Uncle Terry Foster, who will lull you to sleep with his wonderful stories about the past days of yore. The Lions Insider Show. Make sure you watch it Tuesdays 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. and Sundays 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. right here on Woodward Sports.
Absolutely, that is a show that is up and coming, and with the Lions being with the Lions being so hyped this year, you're gonna want to tune into all of Woodward Sports shows for the best Lions content. Moses in the chat, I haven't seen you here before. Only paying above $500 for a playoff game, and that's fair. You don't want to just like bankrupt your family for Lions regular season games. For regular season games, I don't know about that. But Lucas, how much would you pay for Lions tickets?
Listen, boys, I'm broke, but Lions get in the playoffs, you bet your ass I find a way to get money. I'll put that blue ski mask on and I'll go get some schemes lined up. I'm going in there. I don't care. I'll find a way.
Yeah, it's gonna be people.
Find a way.
People
I'll
are
show
gonna
that
start taking jobs
grit.
at Ford Field just to get inside Ford Field. Like, I'll go sell popcorn just to watch the game.
I'll set up a fake Planet Fitness stand. We'll go in there. We'll do some sponsorships for them. Get some sales work and be like, yeah, I'm with Planet Fitness. Have my polo on. Get the table all set up. Don't even do it. I'd find a way. There's no doubt in my mind.
You know what's going to be sweet though is I think we may finally actually get use of what they built at LCA, that huge screen out back. Like I think that's what they should do with the overflow downtown in Detroit. LCA, Olympia, get a hold of the Lions, say, hey, we're throwing the official watch party over here. Woodward Sports will host it. Don't worry, we can be there. But to me, that's the vision of that area, right? Is finally, when you watch Toronto in the NBA playoffs, they had that whole outdoor setup and people going crazy watching the games. Like, that would be amazing if this gets to a point where Ford Field just is way too overpacked, downtown's way too overpacked, and LCA steps up and offers that huge-ass TV, because I'd love to watch a Lions game there.
No, I think that would actually. I think that's not only going to happen.
That'd be amazing,
I think it's imminent, 100%. And Steve. It's Steve Reinert with the comment of the day. I assume he's talking about playoff tickets. I would give my firstborn child my new riding mower, a Discman, 2 tickets to the circus, a $100 Meijer gift card with $9 left on it, and the $88 in my wallet. Well, Steve, I'm not one to promote ruining your life over Lions playoff tickets, but if you're going to ruin your life over something, it might as well be Lions playoff tickets.
They've ruined our lives. It's time to pay it back.
Hey, can we give a shout out to all the season ticket holders
Yes.
who have stuck it out and like are finally going to see dividends on all their investment on this crappy Lions teams over the years. You guys are the real MVPs because you kept the team here in the city. Honestly,
yeah, they would have been. They'd probably be in like Canada by now.
Yeah,
they'd
Saskatchewan,
over in the UK.
Oh man,
They'd be gone.
Mexico City, where they're always trying to put a team.
The Lions would be the first international team.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
man.
honestly, those season ticket holders who stuck it out during the dark times, those guys, they deserve every benefit that they're getting right now.
Yeah, no, 100%. And the Booner Sports Show, Booner in the chat, shout out to you, Booner. Woodward nights, 8 to 10 p.m., Monday through Friday. I just want to see a Lions playoff game on the stream with all the boys. Could you imagine? Well, you're probably not going to have to imagine because I think we all agree that it's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
And you thought that the Lions at Chiefs watch party was pretty crazy.
I was ready to hit my off button during that game. I can't even imagine. Like, I give those streams my all. Those Lions ones, I give them my all.
You 100% do.
It's 100% raw cut emotion. And I wouldn't know how to act. I wouldn't know how to act.
Why are you guys taking off your shirts though?
I was just like, I had so much weight on my shoulders, man. It was just like,
but it was you,
they couldn't.
Easy, Spencer. Like I've never just been hanging out with my boys, and all of a sudden we wound up naked.
It wasn't that. Never that. Don't make it that.
It's like Nelly hot in here.
Man. Pure adrenaline and thrill. So that Lions Kool-Aid was flowing through the veins.
No, and you know what, Lucas? I don't even blame you for that one. I don't blame Spencer. I don't blame Easy because, as we've all said, I can't think of a bigger Lions win, at least in recent memory.
No.
So if you're gonna go wild out a little bit, that would be the one. But just imagine a Lions play. You know what? We're gonna get to that more in future shows, and we're gonna go to break. And coming up next, a certain Detroit native celebrity, comedian, actor, just an all-around funny guy, made a prediction about the Detroit Lions that you are not going to want to miss. But first, where can you go get the best workout, Stick?
Well, you into fitness?
I'm into fitness.
How about Planet Fitness? There we go. $10 a month. Your fitness is essential. Planet Fitness is the home of the judgment-free zone where anybody, and we mean anybody, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. We're here to help you build a lasting, active lifestyle. Planet Fitness, squeaky clean. Go get that $10 a month or upgrade to the Black Card.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, two of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. That's right, college basketball's most elite event. You and your 5 best friends just get to any Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically register to win the trip of your dreams. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Everybody, they were protesting, so I just did the rewrite on my own to make sure that they won by 1 point. You know, sometimes you have a creative feeling at them in that last minute, and you have to make that change. So you make that change as soon as you can. And I wanted to make sure that they just won by 1 point. I thought that would be fitting for the first game of the season.
Kate, you nailed it. You know what? You took over the table reads. You made sure the script would go as it should, and it worked out perfectly. Now,
Yep.
how far do you have the Lions scripted for the rest of the season here?
That's right. I've got the Lions going to the NFC Championship game. And that, I can't believe I'm sharing this with you. I shouldn't be telling this. This should not be on the podcast. I shouldn't be telling everybody what the script is going to look like. But the Lions are going to become the darlings of the league and go to the NFC Championship game. And then I can't tell you any more after that. That's getting up to page 126, and I can't reveal any more after that.
Let's tell you about the Academy of War, and then we're going to talk about that awesome statement that was just made by Detroit's own Keegan. Academy of Warren, they had that new state-of-the-art sports dome, which we've checked it out, and it's absolutely amazing. You can play 7-on-7 in there. They got volleyball, soccer field, and basketball court. They do kindergarten through 8th grade. They got the latchkey program, small classroom sizes, and just an amazing, amazing place. Go check it out. It's right there on 8 Mile, the Academy of Warren. Come experience the new one and enroll today. academyofwarren.net.
And of course, those comments were made by. Yeah, that is the beat, JB Smooth. You are the man. Of course, those comments were made by Keegan Michael Key. He is hyping up the Lions as much as anybody right now, and also he actually has the NFL script, so maybe we should listen to him.
He's the lead writer.
Hey, he is the writer. He's actually the one that knows it all. So maybe we should keep our ears pinned when it comes to Keegan Michael Key. But still, how cool is it that one of the most prominent Detroit native celebrities right now is just so high on this team? They are the darlings of the NFL. They are, and all of the Detroit natives, everyone is coming out to support this team. But I also want to get into a little bit about the substance of what he said in one of his quotes. And if you guys haven't heard it, I shouldn't be telling everyone what the script is going to look like, but the Lions are going to become the darlings of the league and go to the NFC Championship game, and then I can't tell you any more after that. And obviously, I think for the most part, we all have the Lions winning one playoff game. And if they don't get the number 1 seed, I believe it would take 2 playoff wins to get to the conference championship game. And as high as we are on the Detroit Lions, I'll tell you what, the 49ers look pretty damn good too. The Eagles are still there. The Cowboys went to New York and shut out the Giants.
I don't want to hear any Cowboys bullshit.
Okay, but like the
I've been hearing Cowboys bullshit my whole life. They haven't won anything in 30 years, 40 years.
Okay, but you're a Lions fan and you're just like, oh, the Cowboys, those losers who won 5 Super
I've been
Bowls.
told they're America's team my whole life, and I'm pretty sure I'm American, and they're not my team.
You were alive in the 90s when they won 3 out of 4 Super Bowls.
Yeah, in the 90s. That's great. How much credit do we give the Redwings now for winning in the 90s?
No, I get it.
You don't.
The Cowboys have been underachievers, I would say, over the past almost 30 years, and that is 100% fair. But my point is that
only 30 years of mediocre football.
All right.
But that's all right.
Overrated
They're still
and overhyped
good.
football, too.
Either way, sorry.
Tony Romo.
Just don't give me that Cowboys shit.
But I will say this, the Lions looked good, but the NFC, unlike the AFC, they actually got the job done. Pretty much all of the top NFC contenders, they won. So, Sam Stick Day, I'm going to start with you. Can the Lions actually make the NFC Championship game and maybe even beyond?
Can they? Of course. Will they? Who knows? I mean, those are two completely different questions, but I mean, all things point to yes, right? And even though the 49ers look dominant, who'd they look dominant against?
I mean, at Pittsburgh.
Just to answer the question, is Pittsburgh a good team?
They're fine.
They have your boy Kenny Pickett. Your beloved Kenny Pickett, Flannel.
They beat up on a fine team. All right, the Cowboys won. Are the Giants a good team?
They were a playoff team last year, Stick. Don't just dismiss at Pittsburgh and at New York.
But are they a good team?
They're probably going to win 7 games.
Did the Lions beat them last year?
Yeah, they did.
Okay, so they're a fine team too. And what was the other team? The Eagles?
Yeah.
Who the hell did the Eagles play?
They won at New England.
At New England. That's a fair win.
But at
New England's
York
not
isn't
the
and
New
at
England.
Pittsburgh isn't.
But either way,
go ahead.
What win was the best out of week 1?
Lions.
Lions,
Yeah,
exactly.
Lions.
So that's my point of making all those references about who they actually played. And we could say, yeah, they look great. Well, yeah, the Lions should look great against inferior opponents too. But the Lions look great against a superior opponent by all measures and Super Bowl championships and quarterback play and all that good stuff. So to me, yeah, it's not lost on me that the Lions can make it to the NFC Championship game, especially if we're only counting those 3 teams, because you got to assume 2 of them are going to knock each other out anyways, too.
Yeah, how much does the fact that they went into Arrowhead and actually won that game, albeit against the Kansas City Chiefs team that was missing a couple of their best players, but still, that is a very impressive win. How much does that sway you in thinking the Lions can actually go to the NFC Championship and beyond?
It doesn't sway me. I already had that belief.
Okay.
And I think if you asked anybody in the Lions locker room, they already had that belief. Like, they just need to go do it. Like, you can believe it, but going and doing it is something completely else. And when we were during the Lions watch party, we were talking about moral victories, right? At what point can the Lions exit this game with a loss and still feel good about themselves? Was really the question I was getting at. Luckily, we don't have to answer that question. We don't have to make those well, they only lost by 3 to Kansas City at home, but it was a last-second field goal. Yeah, if so and so would have dropped that pass, we don't have those those regrets now. You get to look at them, oh my God, they went there, they won. But going back to our conversation earlier in the show, that's what makes this week so damn important. Because as much as I want to stand on that hill and say, hey, they went to Arrowhead and won, if the next week I got to be like, but then Seattle came in here and punched us in the face.
Exactly.
It doesn't feel as good. It doesn't make as much sense, and there's just not as much pride in that win.
You know, and I agree with you about that. I don't see the Seahawks coming into Ford Field and winning, but you can't take any team lightly. Lucas, do you think the Lions can actually make the NFC Championship game? That's part one. And part two, did the win at Kansas City actually sway you in any way?
Well, let's just break it down like this. Do the Lions have good ownership right now?
Yes.
See?
Do the Lions have good management right now?
Yes.
Do the Lions have good coaching right now?
Yes.
And do the Lions have a good roster right now?
Yes.
So, break that around the other contenders around the NFC. Philly checks all those boxes. Niners checks all those boxes. Cowboys, I'm not really so sold on their coaching, especially with Mike McCarthy. Their defense is crazy. We'll give them that. But I'm still not sold on the Cowboys coaching, especially now that they lost Kellen Moore. Because that offense looked okay. But again, who are they playing? The Giants. They absolutely can. And that win in Arrowhead at week one, with the banners being dropped, the highest viewed week one game of the season, or of the week, they can absolutely win anywhere. They have everything, all the tools they need to. Really, it just depends on the path. I think if they were to play the 49ers in the divisional, that's where I'd be like, okay, this might be the year where it's like they made their path. They face a 49ers team, because honestly, that's a team that I think I would want to see in the NFC Championship game for them to make it there. But then we have another offseason to reload, and I think that's the year where it's like, we saw what the Niners did last year. We got a game plan against them. We got a better roster. Let's go beat them. Super Bowl. That's where I'd be like, the NFC Championship. If not, I think that's the path that it happens. I think they'll beat whatever home team they play in the wild card, or maybe if they even get a week one bye, because the NFC North could be absolute trash, especially towards the bottom half with the Bears and the Vikings. We got to see more out of the Packers, because that's another Cowboys and Giants situation, in my opinion.
Well,
but they have the path for sure.
Yeah, 100%. And here's where the whole beating the Chiefs at Arrowhead, I think, is really, really relevant to them possibly making the NFC Championship game, the Lions. I think when the schedule came out, as I've mentioned many, many times, the game at Kansas City obviously was looked at as the toughest game on the schedule. Obviously, some things happened. The fact that it was opening night, I think, gave Lions fans more hope. The fact that Kansas City had some key injuries gave the Lions some more hope. But you know what? And all of that aside, the Lions went in there and they won. And I actually predicted before the game, I didn't quite call for it. I went a little bit short of it, that if the fact that the Lions won at Kansas City, this is a team that actually could contend for the 1 seed. And the reason why the 1 seed is so important in a 7-team playoff format is that they are the only team with a first-round bye. So just imagine if the Lions get the 1 seed and they have one home playoff game to win, and that would put them in the NFC Championship. I'm not calling for it quite yet, but there are a lot of...
Feels so good. Thinking about it feels so good.
But yeah,
it just feels so good. Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah, brother.
Oh, man. But those are the feelings we're allowed to feel right now, and it's all very genuine. And that's the thing. If the Lions only have one home playoff game to get to the NFC Championship game, then their pathway is very much paved. And then if they're the 1 seed, they'd have a home NFC Championship game, and then we can start talking about even going to the Super Bowl and possibly winning it. Speaking of that, JB Smoove has some pretty expensive bets. What was it? The Lions getting, like, winning the NFC, and how many did you put on? Remind us.
So it's 3. It's the Lions winning the NFC North, the Lions winning the NFC Championship game, and the Lions winning the Super Bowl.
Didn't you have that like $2,500 bet for Hendon Hooker to win MVP, and the payout was crazy? Wasn't that you? Were you that Lions better than anonymous Lions better?
That wasn't me. Hendon Hooker's my guy, but I know, let's be realistic, that's not going to happen, seeing him coming out of college and being injured. But man, all the faith is on this Lions team right now. We're all on them to at least go far within this playoffs, and it's expected of them. That's what Brad Holmes said as well too. They brought all these players in here, and they know what's expected of them: success. So I don't think it just stops short right here at us being 12 wins. We make it to a playoff game, and then we're just okay with that. No, they want to see them go further than that. So sky's the limit.
Yeah, 100. Yeah, absolutely, JB. Well said. And Bryce Bennett in the chat, he is definitely stoked and not scared. He says 13-4 for the Lions, Eagles for 12-5, and 49ers go 11-6. I don't know if I see the 49ers going 11-6, but still, the Detroit Lions, and also another thing that we need to talk about with their pathway maybe being a little bit more paved is that the Chicago Bears, a team that I was higher on than most, did not look very good. They looked absolutely.
They look like the worst team in the league again.
They looked exactly like they did last year.
Why were you high on the Bears?
Well, because they made a lot of signings in the offseason. I thought Justin Fields was going to take a leap, and it didn't look so good in week 1.
Yeah.
I remember just watching that game, just thinking in my head, like, I was wrong, because nothing really looked different.
Not everybody in Chicago was wrong. Like,
absolutely.
The fact that those Bears fans were jawing on Twitter so much this offseason is like
Adam Rank.
Oh, I don't even know who that. But I posted one video of Amon-Ra St. Brown talking trash to, I believe it, whoever from Barstool likes. He was like,
I gotta be.
You like last year? You like last year? And these Bears fans started coming at me about Jared Goff. Started coming at me about the Lions. Started coming after me about the Lions haven't won a damn thing. They're another case of cowboyism. Like, they're holding on to a championship from the 80s like anybody gives a damn about Mike Ditka. Like, honestly, like they're the biggest thing that they are, Bears fans, is a joke in pop culture from Saturday Night Live. We all think you're fat, we all think you're lazy, we all think you're slobs, and you guys owned it like, we got a skit on Saturday Night Live. like it's mocking how obese your whole damn city is. Bears fans pushed me over the top because I used to tolerate Bears fans because as a Lions fan, what can you say?
Yeah.
But when your team is absolute trash and you want to run your mouth on the internet and then your team comes out and lays an egg like that and Justin Fields throwing interceptions, doing what Justin Fields does, which we've seen, even threw him to our own Aiden Hutchinson.
I got to hold myself accountable to. Me and Flannel were kind of in the same boat there.
Well, then you both are stupid.
But it's not just...
It's just, I think they can still potentially be like a 6-win team.
Yeah, and by high on them, I didn't mean playoffs or anything. I meant like 8 wins.
Yeah.
But another team that also looked pretty bad in the NFC North, how about the Minnesota Vikings losing at home to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a team that we all think is going to be very, very bad.
Yeah.
That's another one. Like the Vikings and the Bears, they look like 6-win teams to me. I think the Bears actually look like they could be like a 4-win team at this point. They both look absolutely terrible.
That's improvement over last year, though.
But how big that actually would be, and that's the sad thing if you're a Bears fan. But
We're taking the next step.
But they would be, but the Lions
slowly
would be
but surely
massive favorites in all four of those games, the home and the aways against the Bears and the Vikings. I know the game at Green Bay might be tough, but even the home game against Green Bay, I think the Lions will be favored. So this is a team that can definitely stack up a lot of wins and maybe even get the 1 seed. But speaking of the Detroit Lions, when we come back, there's a certain list that a certain website put out that I think is going to make Stick's blood boil for a second, and you are not going to want to miss that. But first, I have to tell you about Swiss Insurance. Do you have football on the brain? Fall ushers in college and professional football, and this year is going to be awesome. Fall is also a perfect time to shop your home and auto insurance. Shop it like a pro with Swiss Insurance. They cover Woodward Sports Network, and they should be covering you too. Ask for Mark at Swiss Insurance today at swissins.com or call 248-800-4177. Again, that is 248-800-4177, Swiss Insurance.
Is a college student struggling to study for her big exam. Then she discovered Syntron, a healthy way for her to stay awake and focus. Jennifer frequently has chaotic days like this until she gets online, orders some Syntron, and finds her groove. April visited her local grocery store, purchased a case of Syntron, and entered to win the Syntron 100K Vegas giveaway. Pick up your case of Syntron today at any Meijer location or visit drinksyntron.com/Vegas and enter for the 100K Vegas giveaway.
Come hang with the Woodward Sports crew all throughout football season on Saturdays and Sundays. Join our college football and Detroit Lions live watch parties.
Inside the 5, caught, end zone. Touchdown, Detroit Lions.
With money on the line. Featuring different special guests and surprises. Start times will vary depending on the game. Only on our Woodward Sports YouTube channel.
Just in time for football, Glorious Cannabis is dropping a new ice water bubble hash infused pre-roll called Honolulu Blue. It smells so good, it's like the whiff of the first playoff win in 31 years. It's a gassy, aggressive strain named in honor of Detroit football. If you haven't had one of these ice water pre-rolls, you are missing out. So smooth. Find them at Dispo Dispensary for 25% off code word Woodward Glorious, and you can visit their website, gloriouscanna.com.
Why we give Flannel that read?
What's wrong
Of everybody in here, why Flannel get that read?
I'm just trying to make it easy on everybody
Lucas got
else.
the Dispo shirt on.
I'm feeling the dispo right now, too. I'm not gonna
He got
lie.
the edibles rolling through his system.
You had a nice little cup of coffee of that. Nice little THC cup of coffee.
Is there any better blend?
No, there's not.
No.
Well, kind of like Neil Rule, I'm just a pro. I just show up and I do my reads and I do my job. But welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show live on Woodward Sports Network. I'm Flannel Sam. We got Sam Stick Day filling in for Jeff Iafrady. Jeff will be back tomorrow.
Get well soon, Jeff.
Absolutely. We got JB Smoove in the sound booth, and we have Lucas Klotz on the ones and twos. And we've obviously been really, really high on the Lions. Even the national media seems to have kind of turned their tide in that the Lions are going to be good. Even those who picked against them are kind of eating a lot of crow this week. But even after last week's game, there's a certain website called the 33rd Team, which put out a Week 2 quarterback power rankings list, which you guys are not going to want to miss. Obviously, you got Mahomes, you got the usual suspects at the top, like Mahomes, Allen, Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence.
Unbelievable.
Dak Prescott, Stafford, Hurts at 9. That kind of puts my antennas up, but still.
Hurts at 9, Smith at 10, Cousins at 11. This list is absolute trash.
Well, Mac Jones at 15.
Mac Jones ahead of Jared Goff.
Yeah, Russell, Ryan Tannehill.
Tannehill ahead of Goff.
All right.
Oh my God.
And before I let you
Patrick
guys,
Mahomes ahead of Goff.
Oh, come on. All right. But here's what kind of struck me about this list before I let you go, Stick, and let you go off, is that the quarterback play in week 1 overall was kind of poor across the board. I mean, Mahomes, you got to put number 1. Josh Allen had 4 turnovers. Lamar Jackson didn't look so great, albeit with Mark Andrews out, but
Herbert
still.
didn't do a damn thing.
I mean, Herbert was okay, but the
he
running
threw for
game
one,
kind
he
of,
ran for one.
and the running game kind of carried that offense that day. Joe Burrow played the worst game of his life. Trevor Lawrence played well. Dak Prescott did basically a whole lot of nothing. That defense and the special teams carried that one. Stafford played well. Hurts was okay, but I mean, he should still be above 9. Geno Smith was awful. Kirk Cousins turned the ball over 3 times. Tua actually had the best game of the weekend for quarterbacks. He should probably be up there. But Ryan freaking Tannehill had 3 picks. And the point is that we're going along this list. The top 10, there's a certain name missing. The top 15, there's a certain name missing. You have to wait all the way until the bottom of the left hand of the list at number 16 until you get to Jared Goff, slightly behind Mac Jones and 1 spot above Daniel Jones, who led his offense to 0 points against the Cowboys. So, Stick, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, who did this? Who's the name?
the
Derek Klassen? Is that his
Derek
name?
Klassen of the 33rd Team.
All right, Derek, you're an absolute moron. You should never watch football again, report on it, or put out any other list as long as I shall live. This is the dumbest thing I have ever seen. You took a guy, I mean, we all watched that game with Jared Goff. He was throwing darts in that game, putting it between 4 guys in coverage, finding Amon-Ra St. Brown. He was doing everything he had to do to have complete control of the offense. Went on the road, which last I heard, Jared Goff can't win on the road. Isn't that what everybody told me before the game? Wait, well, his record at home and his record on the road are completely different. Well, add one to the win column. But you look at this list, Kirk Cousins shouldn't even be on this list. He should be down there with Dobbs.
No, stop it. Not with Dobbs. He's 32. Stick, just don't get into hyperbole.
I would. Kirk Cousins should not be that high, period.
Sure, that's
Do we
fine.
agree with that? Where would you put Kirk Cousins? I put him down there with Garoppolo, with Fields, with Purdy.
No. I mean, he turned the ball over 3 times.
They have C.J. Stroud above Deshaun Watson. That's criminal.
Yeah, and then Geno Smith. What did Geno Smith do last game? Didn't they throw for 120 yards or something like that? DK Metcalf with all 47 of his yards. So what are we doing there? Tua should be way higher on the list. He jumped from, I think, being like a plus 2,000 to win MVP to plus 750.
Yeah.
So Vegas obviously seeing something there. And then we get to Tannehill. Tannehill is what Tannehill is. I don't even know why he's on that list.
He's like a Walmart Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, Russell Wilson is still trying to figure out the offense in Denver. Mac Jones had a good game for Mac Jones, but he didn't have a good game for Jared Goff. Like, that's why this list is just such trash. And I don't know why Jared Goff continually gets disrespected. It started when he came here. People just didn't see his value. Like, people didn't understand that he was a young quarterback, had been to a Super Bowl, was a #1 overall pick. All the things where if you were just on paper and you're like, what do I want for my next quarterback? You'd be like, this, this, this. Well, then Jared Goff walks through the door and you're like, oh, wait, but not that one. But not that one. Jared Goff is at least a top 10 quarterback, arguably a top 5 quarterback in this league, is on pace to set the record for least amount of interceptions thrown. He has a higher QBR than I think anybody else in the league right now. What are you arguing? He just went on the road and smacked your boy Mahomes in the face.
The offense scored 14 points.
Yeah, because what? Mahomes threw an interception, pick 6. You don't think if Goff did that, you'd be like, well, if Goff wouldn't have thrown a pick 6. No, so you got to, fine, the offense scored 14 points, but Mahomes gave up the other 7.
I mean, Kadarius Toney, I think, gave up the other 7.
It doesn't matter. That's on Mahomes' record. That's how football's played, Sam.
No, 100%. And I'm not disrespecting Jared Goff. I'm just not ready to call him a top 5 quarterback. Top 10, certainly. He certainly should be top 10 on this list. He should be above Dak. He should be above Geno Smith for sure. I'd probably put him above Matthew Stafford, even though Matthew Stafford played very, very well. So this list is obviously blatant disrespect to Jared Goff, and the fact that he's at 16 is 100% malfeasance, so we 100% are in lockstep there. So what I want to do really quick, I want to go to you, JB Smoove, and I want to go to you, Lucas. Just your going into week 2 check-in on Jared Goff. How are we feeling about him as of right now, Thursday, September 14th, 2023?
Thursday, right now?
Yes. How you feel?
That's my quarterback. Like
that's
my quarterback. That's my guy. Whoever made this list, this is ridiculous. Come on now. Ryan Tannehill is above Jared Goff. Ryan Tannehill, the guy that they've been trying to get out of Tennessee for the longest time, probably the guy that's going to end up a New York Jet eventually. I'm pretty sure that's going to happen.
That's your pick for that?
That's my pick for that, because I don't think any veteran quarterback is going to come off their retirement to hop here and just be like, all right, yeah, let me take over the New York Jets. Yeah, they're going to have to suffer with Ryan Tannehill on that account. But come on, Tua being down so far, I can see maybe the top 6, 7. Okay, perfect. Everything after that to 10, you need to rearrange to get these guys in order. Cousins needs to be on the right side of that list. Purdy needs to be on the left side. Tannehill right. Russell Wilson, Mac Jones, all these guys need to be on the right side of this list. Come on. Jared Goff needs to be at least 8 or 9 right here.
8 or 9 I think is a pretty good number right now, although I might even argue for 7, but 8 or 9, he's certainly a top 10 quarterback in the league as of today. And before I get to Lucas Klotz, we got to talk about something that has a 100% approval rating, and that is the Lions pregame show on Woodward Sports. The Woodward Sports pregame show returns for another season of Lions football. Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate. Look at that handsome man on the graphic, and look at that handsome man in the bottom right corner square as well. With weekly special guests on the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. That's funny, Stick. Including this week, he is going to be hosting with our very own Ryan Ermanni, so you are not going to want to miss that. Whether you're sipping the Kool-Aid or kicking and screaming same old Lions, you will not want to miss this show. It is live this Sunday from 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. from Eastern Market. Join us all season long for an action-packed Lions pregame experience. And Lucas, I'm going to ask you the exact same question as I asked JB. What are your thoughts of Jared Goff as of right now? Your kind of weekly Jared Goff check-in.
I don't think I'm going to go to the top 5 like Stick is, but I love Jared Goff for this team. I love what he did for this team in week 1. He did not try to play hero ball, and that's how you lose games like this. He did his job. There wasn't even, I can't remember a ball that was even close to being intercepted that at least was not his fault. I can remember one on that Josh Reynolds quick screen that looked like it was about to for an interception. But he played an extremely efficient game. He kept this team close to the down marker, so they were in second manageable, third
Kept
manageable.
them on schedule.
He kept them on schedule. And when you have that with his talent, because we know that if he really wanted to, yeah, he probably could have aired that out a little bit more because he has that talent. But he also has the awareness to realize that I don't need to do this. I'm playing against Patrick Mahomes. If that's Kirk Cousins on the other side, I think he plays a different game. I think you see more of those, like Stick said, that against zone coverage, fitting those in between the gap on a huge down to keep this team moving. You'd see more throws like that. You'd see more crossers than Amon-Ra St. Brown just because of style of game. He's shown that he can not only, because we saw all last year, if he needs to go hang up 40 points on the Jags, he can do it. If he needs to go and just manage the game and get the win for the Detroit Lions in Arrowhead, he can do it. He knows what the role that he has to play is, and when you have a quarterback like that with talent around him, you just got to love it because you know that he could be doing more, but he's not trying to.
Yeah, you make a great point. He's a how do you want it quarterback.
Yeah.
All right, you're going to take this away. This is how I'm going to beat you. And I'm not saying he's Tom Brady, but that's what Tom Brady used to do. You look at Tom Brady's game stats, and you would never be, like, over-wowed, like, oh, my God. Yes, he'd have a couple 5-touchdown games here and there, but most of the time he's just taking what the defense giving him, matriculating the ball down the field, 5-yard, 10-yard, just eating you up. And I think Jared Goff is what? The #1 rated play-action pass quarterback for the past 2 or 3 years in the NFL.
Nice.
And what are the Lions really good at? Running the ball all of a sudden the last 2 years. So he's only going to get better. It's his second year in this offense. I've been high on Goff since he got here, but the way he operates, I'm not looking at him to put up numbers. I'm looking at him to control the game.
Yeah, and Jared Goff, I think one thing that he did that is going to endear him to a lot of Lions fans is go into Kansas City and the Lions win that game. And Jared Goff certainly did a lot to win that game. And more importantly, he did nothing to lose that game. And he's been pretty much turnover free. I mean, he has been turnover free for the last 10 games, which is absolutely unbelievable. And in those 10 games, the Lions have looked pretty damn good. And in the last 6 weeks of 2021 on, Jared Goff's numbers would tell you that he's an elite quarterback. So that gives credence to people like Stick, who are really, really high on him and have been high on him since day one. But I think if Jared Goff does and leads this team to as far as we think that they can go this year, I think the approval rating for Jared Goff amongst Detroit Lions fans in the city of Detroit will be much higher. And certainly if they exceed expectations, there are things Jared Goff can do that I think would make his approval rating in Detroit at almost 100%. And that's right in front of him.
He's 2-0 against Pat Mahomes.
Yeah.
How does that feel, Sam?
On prime time.
With 2 different teams.
I mean, it is what it is. Good thing the NFL isn't a head-to-head game. But hey, I'm happy that the Lions won that game, even though a lot of people don't think that I am. I was not happy about that Rams-Chiefs game, but that's another team in another year. Coming up next, JB, can we take you want to take some callers? You guys want to take some callers?
Yeah, let's take some callers.
Yeah, why not?
All right, we're going to take some callers. We're going to talk about the Netflix show Quarterback and a certain former Lions quarterback that turned it down, some quarterbacks that you might want to see. But you guys call and we can talk about whatever you guys would like to talk about. The number is 313-552-6322. But first, if you want the best place to have lunch or dinner or anything in the city of Detroit, where do you go, Stick?
Oh, it's Big Boy. It's easy. Burgers, sandwiches. Get me a sandwich right now. Look at that pretzel bacon cheeseburger, perfect for fall. And I love a hot chicken sandwich like nobody else's business, especially you put some extra pickles on that. That is the way to go. Big Boy, make sure you get there today. Follow them on all the social media. You see them at the bottom of our screen right now, or check out bigboy.com for a location near you.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot off the press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
Calling all landscapers. How would you like to landscape like a legend? Register for your chance for 4-time Stanley Cup winner Darren McCarty to work your crew for a day. That's right, Darren McCarty on your zero-turn weed whipping
awesome.
and edging for your favorite clients. Sign up today at OutdoorEquipco.com. That's OutdoorEquipco.com.
Good for Darren.
Yes, absolutely. Who wouldn't want to have D-Mac work their landscape crew? That would just be the best day of my life.
That'd be a wild experience.
You
for
could
a
do
day.
anything with Darren McCarty, and it's going to be amazing. Like, you want to go weed whack? Sure, Darren, let's go weed whack. That'll be awesome. A weed whipper.
Yeah. D-Mac is 100% the man. Welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show live on the Woodward Sports Network. I'm Flannel Sam. We got Sam Stick Day filling in for Jeff Iafrady, JB Smoove in the audio booth, and Lucas Klotz on the ones and twos. JB, who do we got on the phone?
Oh, well, I know Jeff isn't here, but his favorite guy is on the line for him. It's Terrell from FL.
Oh, Terrell from FL. Terrell, what would you like to talk about, my man?
Oh, I called in to talk to you today, Sam. I wasn't even going to address Jeffrey.
All right.
We don't want none of that.
Joffrey.
Well, first of all, Jeff, I wanted to say whoever stole that Rasheed Wallace about CJ being Rasheed needs to credit me because I've been saying that in the chat for 2 months.
One more time. Can you repeat yourself?
I said whoever posted that shit on Twitter about CJ being our Rasheed Wallace stole that from me, and they need to credit me because I've been saying that in the chat for 2 months. Easy. But Sam,
I'll let Corey know.
Sam, bro, me and you got to talk, bro, because you run around talking all the time about how you're a Pistons and a Lions fan, and I have serious doubts, my boy. Serious doubts.
Why? Why
Serious.
Why is that, Terrell? Why is that?
Bro, because how can you possibly act the way that you do about our rivals and slobber all over LeBron James and slobber all over Aaron Rodgers when these dudes have tortured our franchises for years, bro? There's a difference between having a respect for a player and liking them and dick riding them the way that you do. Those are completely different things. And the way that you talk about those guys is disgusting. Are you old enough to remember the 25-point game that LeBron put on us that the league used him to rape our franchise with?
Yeah, no, Terrell, let me give you an answer to that because I actually have a response. I can see why you guys feel that way, 100%. My thing is that I am a Lions and Pistons fan, but I also am a fan of a lot of certain players around the league. I think sometimes
there's nothing wrong with that.
I think sometimes Lions and Pistons fans, I know you guys are going to get mad at me for this, but I don't care. Sometimes just get so insulated into your own teams. It's almost like you think there are no good players around the league. If you don't slobber every single thing the Lions and Pistons do, you're a hater. And I think my approach is kind of more of a response to you guys, which sometimes I think unfairly have Aaron Rodgers and LeBron James derangement syndrome, which is something
Aaron Rodgers is trash.
See, right there, there's no reason for that. He's a top 10 quarterback of all time. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer, and you're just like, oh, he's trash. He's nothing. That is an absurd take. Terrell,
Matthew Stafford has a better career than Aaron Rodgers.
You're an absolute idiot for that. Get off.
Count the rings.
It's not all about rings. Is Trent Dilfer as good as Aaron Rodgers and Matthew Stafford too? Brad Johnson, Jeff Hostetler.
Why do we play the game? Why do we play the game?
Wins are not a quarterback stat stick. 4 MVPs versus 0. It's a team game. Are you saying that Trent Dilfer, Brad Johnson, and Jeff fucking Hostetler are just as good as Aaron Rodgers and Matthew Stafford? You should be drug tested. Get off. Stick is no longer allowed to fill in for me. Bye. What the fuck?
No, what I'm saying, Sam. What I'm saying,
God
Sam.
damn it! And people are actually going to agree with this clown. People are going to agree with this. Get out of here.
So what I'm saying, Sam, is that you have been pitching to me how great Aaron Rodgers is, how he's so amazing. But what I'm saying is if we're looking at the longevity of careers, Aaron Rodgers had a great start of his career. He hasn't been shit in the past 5 to 10 years.
He won 2 MVPs, motherfucker!
Okay, he's been a great regular season quarterback. Awesome. You know who was great in the regular season that couldn't get it done? Like it doesn't matter if you're good in the regular season. You got to take your team to the next level. I was told that that Aaron Rodgers, to quote Neil Rule, that Aaron Rodgers was elite, that he could win me championships. He's won as many championships as Matthew fucking Stafford, who spent his career in Detroit taking over an 0-16 team. So I don't want to hear how great this guy is. When it was on the line, he had to show up to win Super Bowls. He got one. Okay. One. That is nothing.
It's nothing. All right. So Matthew Stafford's is nothing too. Then I bet you're not going to say that. You're not going to say that, are you? You guys see it's Aaron Rodgers derangement syndrome. This is insane.
Sam.
Yes.
Sam. Listen, bro. Listen. There's nothing wrong with having respect for other players, but there's a difference between our rivals and other players.
Well, and let's
you understand the difference?
Rodgers is a shitty teammate too.
There's no evidence of that, Stick. You just say stuff just because
there's
you
an
want to say
article up
stuff.
on woodwardsports.com
right,
that I wrote last year.
Does Devontae Adams think he's a shitty
Aaron
teammate?
Rodgers
Why did Devontae Adams stay if he loved Aaron so much?
I mean,
because he didn't know if Aaron was going to stay.
Devontae Adams
Aaron was
one of the best receivers in the league.
Because Aaron was holding the team hostage because he wanted his money. Like, Aaron is a bad teammate. It's okay. You can admit that you can be both things. You can be a good player and a bad teammate.
Great player.
He's not a great player.
Bro, I'm not even talking about him with his teammates, guys.
Dude couldn't make it through 4 fucking plays.
He got his Achilles blown out, you bad person. You're wishing injury. If
I didn't wish injury.
Yeah,
but
you did. You gloated, Stick. Man, can we
listen, I didn't wish it, but I sure as hell ain't feeling bad about it.
If I said that about any other player, people would be clowning me mercilessly. It would just be like, how can you say that, Flannel? How can you say that? But fucking Stick, the biggest Detroit sports nut hugger who has ever walked the face of the planet, says it.
That's why this network's here, by the way.
Hey, Stick. Respect.
Because I love the Lions. I love the Pistons. I was sick of the negative fucking coverage that, you turn on the radio, it's just Lions suck. Lions suck.
Hello?
It's like, yeah.
Yes.
Either way. Go ahead. Are we still on this fucking phone call?
Continue on, Terrell.
Thank you, Terrell, for spooning that. Who we got next, JB?
All right, I will send you guys Bryce.
Bryce Bennett. Bryce
Bennett, yeah, he's been in the chat.
You there, Jabe?
What's up?
Flannel's trying to calm down.
I'm good. I'm always good.
What's up, Bryce? What you want to talk about, baby?
Hello.
We can hear you, buddy.
We can hear you.
All right, who we got next, JB?
I think Terrell from FL is calling back. So.
Sorry, Terrell. You had your 5 minutes. It was fantastic. Call back another time. We appreciate you.
Terrell.
You all right, Sam?
I'm good. Like you guys.
So you're good. You're just like Aaron Rodgers.
You guys think that Neil Rule can get under my skin? This motherfucker Stick steps into 2 shows with me and basically gives me 2 heart attacks. I am gonna have ulcers and acid reflux and just everything. I'm gonna have a heart attack at 35 because this man.
That's what happens when you have indefensible takes.
I don't have indefensible takes. You have indefensible takes.
I got facts.
You have no what? Oh my God! I got facts. Aaron Rodgers has 4 MVPs. Matthew Stafford has 0.0. Aaron Rodgers has more MVPs than Matthew Stafford has Pro Bowl appearances. Those are facts too, Stick.
I thought quarterback stats didn't matter. Only Pro Bowls matter.
MVPs is a quarterback stat. Those are individual stats.
And that's exactly what Aaron Rodgers is, an individual, not a good teammate.
There's a lot of teams on that team that won a lot of players on that team that won the Super Bowl that are happy as hell. Charles Woodson is thankful for Aaron Rodgers. Charles Woodson didn't win shit with Oakland. He went
to a Super Bowl with Oakland? Are you out of your mind? He would have won another one had it not been for the Tuck rule, potentially.
Speaking of luck right there.
Come on. Don't you dare slander Charles Woodson in front of me. I will get out of this chair and slap the shit out of you.
Charles Woodson is the greatest college defensive back who has ever played in a hall. One of the greatest football players who has ever walked the face of this earth.
Talk about my man Woodson.
I love Charles Woodson. I'm just saying that, a lot of players at the tail ends of their career who haven't won much. I mean, I believe Darrelle Revis did it with New England. They go to a team that was better, had better quarterbacks and better teams, and they win Super Bowls or a Super Bowl, and that's what Charles Woodson did. He's got Aaron Rodgers to thank for that.
Ooh, or maybe vice versa.
Well, Charles Woodson was great then, but yeah, I mean, every time.
Pretty sure.
I mean, I get told all the time that every single time. All right.
Speaking of Matthew Stafford, though, Flannel.
Yes.
we got a segment about him coming up.
You know what's a great defense? Guardian Alarm.
Stay out!
Let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts. Our professional technicians take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. 24/7 professional monitoring. Call us anytime, day or night, and know that a Guardian team member will stay on the phone as long as needed. Technology backed by people. Your safety and security deserves technology that's been proven to work and people who have been proven to care. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT. That's 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Stay out of the NFL, Aaron Rodgers.
Guardian Alarm,
Retired.
your local security experts.
Kirby Joseph stole your soul.
Oh my God.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zaniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour.
You're a good coach, Tim. Oh, great shot.
Some of the biggest names in Michigan sports, and some, well, not so much.
Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, shit. Go in.
Watch episodes at woodwardsports.com.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, two of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune in to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder.
For over 60 years, Fairway Packing Company has provided Michigan's finest restaurants, hotels, and casinos with prime beef, Wagyu beef, and dry-aged beef. Experience the Fairway difference for yourself today. Visit the steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods for grab-and-go steaks, or order online at fairwaypacking.com. Welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show. I am Flannel Sam, and this is my friend, by the way, Sam Stick Day.
We are friends. I love Flannel, man.
I love you too, Stick.
And the reason Flannel gets so passionate about his takes is because these aren't just off the top of his head. He's committed time, he's committed thought to this. Even though they could be dead wrong, he's committed a lot of time to coming up with those wrong opinions. So he stands by them.
I actually should probably practice what I preach right there.
You need to get that. You need to get that on like a flag.
Namaste, Captain.
But speaking of other football teams, there is a Thursday night game tonight between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Minnesota Vikings. The Philadelphia Eagles are at home in this one. So, obviously, the Vikings are coming off of a bad home loss to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and now they have to go to Philadelphia, to the defending NFC champions. Stick, how do you see this game playing out?
Well, I see DeAndre Swift maybe getting more than 2 carries in this game.
Maybe.
Because I was told he was going to be a big weapon for Philly.
Yeah,
but my God,
were.
that first
the
game.
The hometown kid.
His usage was less than Jahmyr Gibbs. Yeah, it's little usage. I just see the Eagles absolutely destroying these guys. I still like the Vikings offense. I still like Justin Jefferson. I love the addition of the rookie Addison. Kirk Cousins, he's a mid-quarterback, which is fine. That's not slighting him. He's a guy that can win you some games, but he's also a guy that can lose you some games.
Never in prime time can he win.
I think it's just going to be an absolute beatdown. The line for the Eagles are just going to destroy the offensive line for the Vikings. And I don't know. Anytime the NFC North is playing, I'm rooting for them to lose. Yeah. I want the Lions to just bury everybody this year. And if the Vikings can start out 0-2 and the Lions start out 2-0, I'll be extremely happy about that. But on top of that, the Eagles are just going to stomp them, man.
Well, but before the season started, and I've been very consistent on this, I thought that the Vikings season would be a disaster and they would implode and they would win 6 games. And they did a hell of a showing on their opening game to go to winning 6 games. And I absolutely think they get destroyed at Philadelphia. Lucas, resident ball knower himself, how do you see this game playing out?
Do we remember last year on primetime what happened against Philadelphia and Minnesota? Absolute beatdown. And you could argue that Philadelphia might be a little bit better as far as how they reloaded up front. Oof. And Minnesota, Their up front is the weakness of their offense. I think Kirk Cousins is going to have pressure in his face all night. I think this is going to be ugly from the get-go. I understand they have Justin Jefferson, but Darius Slay clamped down Justin Jefferson. And when's the last time Kirk Cousins has made a statement on primetime football?
I can't think of one.
Not one. Not one. Not in Minnesota, at least. He never shows up. You think it's going to change this year? Absolutely not. Minnesota got worse. The Vikings, I don't see how in the hell they could even manage. I'm going to say that they're not even going to manage 17 points, because the thing is, Philadelphia is just going to rule the time of possession. The Philadelphia Eagles are going to have the ball for probably over half the game, without a doubt. I think Philadelphia, they control the time. And again, Kirk Cousins in the red zone, meh. Philadelphia is going to capitalize on it, and I think Kirk Cousins has a rough night.
Well, it's funny. You mentioned Justin Jefferson because you look back last week, he had 9 catches for 150 yards, and the offense still scored 17 points, and they lost.
Not enough.
You can let Justin Jefferson go off, because I think he's somebody that his start to his career is so historic, it almost gets undervalued. 4,800 yards receiving his first 3 years, and he starts out with a $150 in year number 4. He's a guy that could actually challenge Jerry Rice's records down the road, of course, if he keeps it up.
That's tough.
No, Jerry Rice has...
It's not as tough in today's NFL. I'm going to get on my old man horse, but Jerry Rice was dealing with a different set of rules in the 80s. You know, if he went over the middle, he was going to get his head taken off.
And if you want to look up impressive stats in terms of peak longevity and everything, look no further than Jerry Rice. He has almost 23,000 career receiving yards, and no other receiver even has 18,000. One of the craziest stats you'll ever see. Plus, he was great in the playoffs and won multiple Super Bowls. I believe he has a Super Bowl MVP as well. I think he took one from Joe Montana. JB Smoove, Minnesota at Philadelphia. How do you see this game playing out tonight?
Well, from a betting standpoint, I am doing Minnesota plus 7.5. Because I do think the Eagles will sit here. Wait, hold on,
No,
Lucas.
I'm not laughing. I'm laughing at that line. I think it's still too low.
Yeah, I know, right? 7.5. But yeah, I think the Eagles want to improve on what they did last week. Like, they aren't happy with themselves, especially going up against the Patriots, a well-coached Bill Belichick defense, but still at the same time, I don't think they're content on how they perform. And Stick, I do believe DeAndre Swift will get 6 yards.
He'll get 6 yards.
6 yards.
Is that your over-under?
Yep.
Over
6
under.
yards.
Now, speaking of players who the Lions know very, very well, that kind of looked a little disappointing last week, how about TJ Hawkinson, who is also playing tonight at Philadelphia? 8 catches, sounds great, but for 35 yards.
Yeah, that's not. Florida got more on 3 less catches.
You know the funny thing? That sounds like it would have been Alexander Madison's stat line, and you would have been like, good job.
Right.
Oh, that was TJ
Ty
Hawkinson's
Chandler.
catching the ball. Ty Chandler's stat line. But no, it was TJ Hawkinson, and I lost it in the chat.
He's not going to live up to that pay.
No.
And it's going to be tough. And, I was rooting for Hawkinson here in Detroit, and I don't think he's a bad player by any stretch of the imagination, but what a brilliant move by Brad Holmes getting out from underneath that contract, knowing that you were going to have to pay that to keep him. And that's what you love about Brad Holmes. I can't really point to a move where I was like, that was a bad move. That was a bad move.
No, I can't either. And Lucas, to your point, Sam Laporta put up more yards in week 1 than TJ Hawkinson did. And it wouldn't shock me at all if Sam Laporta, for the duration of his rookie contract, basically either equals or even usurps TJ Hawkinson's first 4 years of production.
Well, in this offense, they don't, they utilize their tight ends, but it seems like it's an interchangeable tight end. They don't really need a Travis Kelce, and it's not focused around that. This offense is predicated on the play action pass, which tight ends should be able to get open at any level on a play action pass.
Sure. You saw last year, like Brock Wright made a big play. James Mitchell makes some plays. Even Shane Zylstra. And this is back to Justin Jefferson. Hoof-hearted says in the chat, because this is kind of a comment that I've struggled with a little bit. Justin Jefferson better either not sign with the Vikings or pray they get a quarterback after Cousins. Huge factor in his career. On the surface, it sounds like that's a sound statement because the Vikings they're probably never going to go anywhere with Kirk Cousins. But Kirk Cousins has also been the quarterback that's put up all the numbers that has allowed Justin Jefferson to put up all of his big numbers. But like
Other
we
way
said,
around.
Well, that's
Yeah, it's the chicken and the egg right there.
I actually agree with you on that one, Lucas. But Kirk Cousins, he is a guy that at the very least, even in years where people are like, oh my God, Kirk Cousins, he's put up good numbers. He's put up big numbers. He's put up a lot of yards, a lot of touchdown passes. And Justin Jefferson, he might end up being the guy as long as he's there, as long as they have Kirk Cousins that just puts up a lot of great regular season stats, but doesn't ever really make the the playoffs or do anything.
How
kind
do
of
the
like
Vikings
Calvin
do it?
Johnson.
How do the Vikings do it? I mean, they have had a perennial awesome wide receiver since I can remember. It started with Carter, then it went to Moss, then you go to Jefferson, then you go to Addison, who I think is going to be a legitimate pro.
Well.
You know, even Thielen looked decent in the purple.
More than decent.
Thielen had a couple 1,000-yard seasons.
Yeah, it's just crazy that these guys are able to reload at wide receiver like they do. I don't understand it. It's just one of those things. They're blessed. Every wide receiver that they draft pops off.
Well, and the Vikings historically as a franchise, when you talk about regular season wins compared to the rest of the NFL, they're right up there. They're like right up there with teams like the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Dallas Cowboys, teams that have won multiple Super Bowls, but they always seem to fall short. They lost 4 in the 70s, which is incomprehensible, that kind of pain. And now it looks like they're about to go through a bit of a rebuild, because I think we all agree in this room that the Vikings finished this season under 500? Yes or no?
Right at it.
Okay.
Yeah. Right at it.
Okay. I mean, but that's the thing, though. When you're an NFL team, and that's something that I think will haunt the Seahawks moving forward this year, you can't lose home openers to teams that you should beat. I know Week 1, a lot of things can happen, and in a couple of weeks, a lot of what happened in Week 1 will be kind of washed away. But the Vikings going to Philadelphia after losing your home opener against Tampa Bay.
They're going to be exposed, man.
Yeah, they are.
I'm not feeling bad.
Alexander Madison's going to be in the backfield, and every play is going to have Fletcher Cox, Jalen Carter, or Jordan Davis in his face every play. And he's not breaking those tackles. They're not going to be able to get anything through the run game. Kirk Cousins is probably going to have to throw like 40, 45 times, and it's going to go to a whole lot of turnovers. I think Philly's defense has a night tonight.
Yeah, and hoof-hearted, he did a follow-up to that comment. If Justin Jefferson wants a career that rivals Jerry Rice, he needs to be absolutely sure the quarterback he has after Cousins can support that. And yeah, Justin Jefferson is going to put up massive numbers, but one of the reasons why Jerry Rice, other than his massive numbers, is so highly thought of is because he played in a lot of big games, was the wide receiver on a lot of Super Bowls. And Justin Jefferson, as long as he's in Minnesota, that's not looking like that's going to happen anytime soon. But we're going to go to break, and when we come back, it is, of course, What's Trending with Lucas, one of my favorite segments of the day. But first, if anyone needs to calm down, like even myself, you go to Dispo. Experience the true meaning of exceptional cannabis products with Dispo Dispensary. With over 12 locations, including their new location that is now open in Whitmore Lake, Dispo is never far away. Join Ermanni and Edwards with Maz and the Woodward Heavyweights broadcasting live at the Whitmore Lake location tomorrow, Friday, September 15th, located on 50 North Territorial Road in Whitmore Lake, Michigan. Dispo Dispensary, disposhops.com, your local cannabis plug.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime. Deal ends Wednesday, September 13th.
Join now at any Metro Detroit location. Hurry, offer ends soon.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
When buying or selling real estate, flexibility and control over the sales process is key. Sellers, how would you like the freedom of canceling your listing agreement at any time for any reason with no penalty? That is exactly what Mark White & Associates offers. It's called the Minute-by-Minute Listing Agreement by Mark White & Associates. Try Mark White's risk-free minute-to-minute listing agreement today. Looking to buy or sell real estate? Visit markwhitesells.com or call 248-290-8242. markwhitesells.com, where flexibility meets success. And now, of course, the moment we have all been waiting for.
It's
live
time.
on the Morning Woodward Show, Woodward Sports Network. We got What's Trending with Lucas. What do you got for us today?
All right, so Jared Goff, he met with the media, and shout out to Broder for getting this video. Broder's been in the locker room. He's been getting that inside scoop, all those videos that we had of C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Shout out to him. But Jared Goff kind of touched on a couple things, and this is what he had to say.
Yeah, it was fun. It was good. It was really impressive to see them all have really no flinch. And I think I tell people all the time, like, are the rookies going to be nervous? It's like, well, they've played in big games. They've played national championships. You know, of course, that was a big game the other night, but these guys have played on big stages, and you can tell.
He was saying about basically how the rookies, Sam Laporta, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jack Campbell, Brian Branch, they've all played in big games in college. So my question to you guys is, when it comes down to playoff time, the week 16 game against Dallas, or it could be week 17, I don't know when the bye week is compared to everything else. Are you confident in them being like huge contributors outside of Monroe St. Brown and David Montgomery? It's going to be heavy dependent on Jahmyr Gibbs and Sam Laporta, especially late in the season. Are you guys confident with that?
Yeah, I am confident because I think we all agree the Lions have high expectations. They're going to win the division. They're going to host a playoff game. And by then, not only do the Lions rookies have that experience going to Kansas City and all being great contributors on a win at Arrowhead against the defending Super Bowl champions, they'll have been in more big games. They'll have gone to Lambeau Field. They'll go to Dallas. They'll go to Baltimore. They'll have home games in division, even games at the Bears and at the Vikings, which are all big games. And when you're a team that has these high expectations, every week is a big game. You can't afford to slip up. And I think if the Lions want to go where we think that they can go, it's dependent on the rookies having big contributions, and I think they will. And I think by playoff time, they will be kind of savvy. I mean, I don't know about savvy veterans, but by a rookie standards, kind of have a lot of experience of savvy veterans. I mean, I don't know if I'm off base, but I think that's the case.
No, I definitely agree. But to me, you just could have listed anybody, and it doesn't matter because it's not about my faith in the players. It's about my faith in the coaches to have them ready. And, you know, with Dan Campbell and the team that they have in place all the way up through, you know, the Brad Holmes, they drafted guys in a mold of what they wanted in football players and what they wanted in men and what they wanted in their, you know, attitude and how they approach the game. So I'm not really worried about these guys because I know that's why they were hand selected by Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, that they're already pressure tested. They don't have to worry about them in big games. Otherwise, they wouldn't even be on the damn team, I feel. And so my faith is really in the coaching staff to have anybody that they bring in, even if it's an undrafted free agent off the practice squad. He's going to be ready for the big moment because of the culture that's in place in Detroit right now.
Yeah.
JB, thoughts?
These guys are ready. I mean, you got two of them coming from the coaching tree of Nick Saban in Alabama. Do you know how tough and how much pressure is on you to win a national championship, to be at a national championship game? Like, they want to see you win. These guys have been battle tested before, and when it comes down to the end of the season right here, they will be ready. As Stick said, the coaching staff will have them prepared and ready. All these players fit the culture and the need that we have here for Detroit, and they are going to succeed.
It's funny you mentioned the coach, the two of the players, Jahmyr Gibbs and Brian Branch, playing under the great Nick Saban. What about Jack Campbell and Sam Laporta under the great Kirk Ferentz in Iowa? Which is obviously not anything the same. I'm kind of joking there, but still, they all showed out, I think, to some extent in the Week 1 win at Kansas City. I mean, every single one of them. Brian Branch with a pick 6, Jack Campbell with a couple tackles and that big pass breakup. You had Jahmyr Gibbs with 42 yards on 7 carries, 18 yards on 2 receptions, and you also had Sam Laporta with 5 catches for 39 yards.
He was laying some good blocks out there, too. He was blocking a lot. I was telling people, like, Sam Laporta, like, his legs, he's built.
Yes.
Not trying. Pause. Waist down. He's built.
Pause.
Take all the pause you want. But he has, when he can get leverage under those defensive ends and the linebackers, and he's an athlete too. So he's gonna be hitting you. He's gonna have full speed, and he's gonna be able to block. And he showed that Week 1. He was he will be an extension of the run game, probably year 2, year 3, as far as being a blocker in this offense.
When you got 3 legs like that, you're just more powerful. It's facts.
You said that, not I. But the reason you guys started going at it earlier and wanted to flannel about walked off the set was Matthew Stafford.
I would never.
He's rumored. We can't confirm it, but it's rumored that he will be on next season's series of quarterback. What are you guys' thought about that? Are you going to be excited to see it? Should he do it? Just your basic overall opinion.
I mean, it would be interesting. I think the Netflix Quarterback was a very, very fine show. It was kind of interesting to see the day-to-day lives of all those quarterbacks, but it also kind of showed how, I don't want to say invasive, but kind of, you got to see like the behind the scenes. You got to see their home life. You got to see the game day experience. And I think with some quarterbacks, I don't know if they want that kind of followage of their life. life. And with Matthew Stafford, I know kind of when he was with Detroit, there was a little bit, he wasn't great in interviews. He did he was a little howdy-doody at times, but that would just be the way that these quarterbacks live, the time they put in, the commitment, and also the riches they get for being NFL quarterbacks and making tens of millions of dollars is just so interesting, and it's stuff that only we can imagine. And I think the behind-the-scenes look we got with season 1, I think they could put in any quarterback, and it would be interesting, me personally.
Okay.
I may still be in my feelings about Matt Stafford, but I just keep feeling like he's the ex who left and we were on good terms, but all of a sudden he just keeps popping up in my timeline. It's like
I had one of those.
Yeah, exactly. It's like all of a sudden.
I got in college. This is a true story. When I was in college, this girl, we'll call her. Think of a good name, good alias name.
Tiffany.
We'll call her Tiffany.
There
Tiffany.
we go.
Met Tiffany on Tinder, and when I first did, I thought it was like a fake thing. I'm like, it's hot, but it's probably fake, but who knows? Completely real. We hang out, things go really well. Go out to a party, take her back to the crib. Yeah. And then she has like 15K on Instagram, so I'm like, holy shit. We're sitting there watching football on Sunday, and she opens her Snapchat. David Njoku, Kareem Hunt. And oh god, can't think it was a Texans wide receiver.
And she went for a football player from Tiffin.
Yep.
She
literally. I was talking shit to David. We were watching the Browns game, and David Njoku was in her Snapchat, and I was recording the game, and he dropped the ball, and I started talking shit to the screen, and then he just yeah. And then she went to Florida, got a modeling gig, on good terms, but she's the one that got away. The one that got away.
The one that got away.
I don't look at him as the one who got away. Like, I was okay with him going away. I think that worked out for both teams' benefit. It worked out for Stafford. He got his Super Bowl. But it's like, I like Matthew Stafford. I like what he did over there. I just don't need Matthew Stafford shoved in my face right now with what the Lions are doing. But I would like to see his day-to-day. I thought quarterback was a good show. I mean, Patrick Mahomes. Yeah. I thought he... In my head, he wasn't as much of a dog as he is. And when you watch that show, you learn that Patrick Mahomes is a dog.
Yes.
Like,
Kirk
he is
Cousins.
a dog.
Kirk Cousins was
not a dog. Not a dog.
Loser.
A puppy. He a puppy. Yeah.
Marcus Mariota also not a dog.
I'd like to see Stafford. Stafford, to me, since he's left Detroit, has become more outspoken, has become more of a character, has become somebody that I would be more interested in having a beer with. So I'm okay with it, but at the same time, it's like, let's let the X go.
Absolutely.
Let's just let it go.
And speaking of stuff you definitely do not want to let go, tell us a little bit about Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder.
Oh, when you're up late night, it's 8 o'clock, there's nothing on TV, there's one thing on YouTube, and that is Woodward Late Nights. Woodward Nights featuring Booner and Broder, two of my favorite dudes here at the network. No insult to anybody present here, but make sure you check them out. They have high-level sports talk for you to enjoy, 8 to 10 p.m. right here on Woodward Sports.
The away fan. There's always one that got away, Lucas. I like to think that once in a while she thinks about you, too.
No, here's the thing. You know what else is fucked about it? So I live in Toledo, and she lived in Tiffin. She was like a diamond in the rough at Tiffin. Trust me, there was not many there, but she was one of them. And she'll come back to like Tiffin, and she'll go to Toledo. She has a friend in Toledo, and she'll be like, "Hey, how you doing, Lucas? Want to get coffee?" We'll go get coffee.
Nice.
And it'll be like 3 months, no text. 3 months later, "Hey, I'm in Toledo. You want to get coffee?" I just keep going back. I keep going back. I just stay there because one day maybe the door opens up. Here comes Klotzy, baby.
Attaboy.
Well,
hang on to that dream, buddy.
I will.
Hang on to that dream.
All I have to say about that is just continue to carry on living your life as if she doesn't exist, and when she does pop in, say hello.
Yeah, the key to hot chicks is ignore them because they're so used to all the attention. Y'all need to watch Def Jam How to Be a Player. Bill Bellamy walks you through every single step.
Man.
She's
the one.
You know that movie, JB?
Oh, I know that movie. That's a classic.
Dude, the uncle walks you through about marinating that fish and how to do it properly.
Listen, the fact she was so above my level, the fact that
that's not true. Nobody's above your level.
No, listen, look, dude, I'm not that type of guy. I know where I'm at in the world. I'm like a solid 8.5.
That doesn't mean a damn thing,
listen,
man.
But listen, I is the one that just snuck through the cracks. Usually I'm a stern motherfucker. I hang in there. I'm whatever. That's the one. That's the one.
The chat is saying 8.5 is way too high for you, Lucas.
Oh, not a chance. Not a chance. They don't know.
You know, Lucas, at the very worst, you are a 7.7, but I'll give you 8.5.
Your stats.
I think it depends on your location.
I know my value.
You're a Tiffin 10, and that's all that matters.
There you go. Tiffin and Toledo 10. I'll be a Detroit 8.5.
There you go.
And that is, but if you want to increase your number when it comes to your status, you go get a haircut at Lady Jane's like I always do. It gives me this great haircut right here. And you can come to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience. Register to win a trip of your dreams and all expenses paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament. That's right, no expense spared for you and 5 of your best buds. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome. Wicked.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions Show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
Burgers and chicken sandwiches are taking over at Big Boy. Try our new pretzel bacon cheeseburger. Turn up the heat with Bob's Hot Chicken Sandwich. Upgrade those regular fries with our chili cheese fries or loaded baked potato fries. Hit your sweet tooth with funnel cake fries or Reese's chocolate peanut butter thunder cake. Load up on all your favorites today at Big Boy.
Come hang with the Woodward Sports crew all throughout football season on Saturdays and Sundays. Join our college football and Detroit Lions live watch parties.
Inside the 5, caught, end zone, touchdown Detroit Lions!
With money on the line. Featuring different special guests and surprises. Start times will vary depending on the game. Only on our Woodward Sports YouTube channel.
Man, downtown's got a new sports bar. It's called 5 Iron Golf. They got those 13 TrackMan simulators, and it's so awesome. Go to 5irongolf.com right now. You can reserve your tee time. You can play. You can practice. You can party the way you want. Downtown Detroit, they got rentals, lessons, leagues, of course, a bar that we got to take advantage of, a restaurant, and more. 5 Iron Golf. Make sure you go there this weekend.
I'll actually be in the Woodward Golf League tonight, so that'll be a lot of fun. I'm terrible at golf, but you know we all have been there, and it is a great time. Welcome back to the Woodward Sports Network.
This
Morning
chat is
Woodward
ridiculous.
Show. The chat is they are slandering Lucas pretty
Latinas
bad.
think otherwise. I promise you that. This the fade all you want. Latinas love it.
And as long as Latina women like
That's
you,
your
that
target.
is all
Yeah,
that matters.
that's your target audience. Go for it, Lucas.
Absolutely. And
Latinas.
Matt, yes.
I call it the 5 L's. Lucas likes Latinas, light skins, and lips.
Ooh.
Very interesting.
What are the lips? What's the lips?
Because that's like, it's not like I think like white girls are like ugly, but sometimes like I don't know, there's like
just white girls think you're ugly.
If you're a white girl with lips, you pass the check.
Yes.
Pass the check.
And of course, get all the questions you want into mailbag. Matt Verville, bro, I'm a 4.5, like a good 4.5, but I'm a good salesman. I do pretty well, and that's the thing. If you want to get women, if you want to get a wife like myself, or have plenty of success like all of the guys in this room have had, you definitely need to learn how to the gift of gab, how to speak. You obviously have to learn how to talk, and that is 100% fair. And I thought I would highlight that from Matt Verville, of course. What else we got? What'd you see? What'd you see, Lucas? Shout it out.
The chat. I'm not gonna say it.
Oh my goodness.
Scientist mustard got me, or whatever it says. Yeah.
Oh no, we're not gonna read that. We are not going to read that at all. Ryan says Latinas are too spicy. I mean,
no,
what
caliente?
Caliente, spicy, muy caliente. I mean, my wife is half Cuban, so I know a thing or two. All right, the away fan. This is a good
married.
one.
I have sex all the time.
Well,
according to Sam.
I
have a wife.
Man.
I get laid all the time.
There is just something about you, Stick, that just makes me. But I love you, man.
What's so funny about that statement is it's counterintuitive. If you have a wife, you're probably not getting laid all the time.
Well, I do just fine.
Flannel.
I do just fine. You know what? The away fan. This is actually a good one. Mailbag question. What is your go-to comedy movie for everybody in the room?
Go-to. There's so many of them.
I know, it's
I mean,
hard.
Superbad used to be the movie I'd throw on to get some.
Oh, yeah.
Because everybody had already seen it. That and Wedding Crashers. You throw that on when you got a lady over. Everybody's already seen it. You're good. Lucas was just talking. What'd you see? I Love You, Man for the first time?
Yeah, me and Easy watched I Love You, Man for the
Slapping
first
a
time.
bass.
That shit was hilarious.
That's a great movie.
That was
JB, I
a
know
good
you're a
one.
movie buff. What do you got?
Oh, I gotta go with Superbad. It's either Superbad or the first Hangover.
Yeah.
So hilarious.
The Hangovers are great.
You
man.
guys mentioned some of the best ones. Wedding Crashers is one of, in my opinion, one of the greatest movies ever made. Not just comedic movies. What do we got
You
here?
got Blazing Saddles, Step Brother,
Yeah.
Anchorman, Biodome. Oh, I haven't seen Biodome forever.
Wow.
Ooh.
Billy. I ain't gonna make you hit that with the shower iron. That's
Ooh,
one of my
yes.
favorite
We got
movies growing
Dave
up.
L. This is an interesting one. Just snap
Half-baked.
quick. Who has more receiving yards, Laporta or Gibbs? Let's go week 2.
Receiving yards?
Yeah, just snap quick.
Ooh, I'm going to go Laporta.
JB?
I gotta go with Laporta too.
Gibbs
all right.
by far.
Hey.
Seattle's linebackers aren't like that. If they're going to have Jamal Adams on Laporta, I'll take that.
Yeah, Gibbs
Burnt
breaks
toast.
one tackle, though, and that little screen pass is an 80-yard day.
Yeah, you're right there. It
That's
could
true,
go the other
too.
way,
The
too. Laporta
explosiveness
after
of
the
Gibbs.
catch. Laporta
Yeah.
after the catch. Wait, look.
It's a great conversation that we get to have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Stephen Baffy gives some marriage advice. Let me just read that and see if I agree. There's an old saying: for the first 2 years of your marriage, put a penny in a jar every time you have sex. For the rest of your marriage, take a penny out. If you empty the jar, you are lucky. Well, Stephen Baffy, if that's the case, I probably think you're not having enough. I will just say that. But you know what? You hear a lot of marriage tropes all of the time.
Flannel just shows up at the end of his shift, strips down to his boxers, and like, let's do this.
Oh man, that was
Flannel bed covers.
Flannel boxers.
It's a flannel show.
The brawny man up on the wall in the background.
Ooh. Oh my goodness. Alrighty then. All right. Ooh, Kalamazoo actually is mentioning himself. Rhetorical mailbag. Greater city, Kalamazoo or Toledo?
I've never been to Kalamazoo.
Oh,
Never
Western
been.
Michigan, Kalamazoo College. Thank you for all the memories and nights I forgot. Western's one of the greatest places you'll ever party.
Really?
Period. I used to prefer Western over State.
Yeah, I mean, I lived in a suburb of Toledo for like 12 years, and I actually lived in Toledo for like 8, 9, and couldn't have, like, whenever I had fun, it was outside of Toledo.
Yeah.
Like that. So I would probably bank on Kalamazoo.
Yeah, Kalamazoo, I wasn't living around here during my college years, but every time I've gone to Kalamazoo, they have a nice downtown. I went to see Joe Gatto there in April at the college campus. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I went to University of Detroit back when there was absolutely nothing in Detroit. It was just a desolate, bankrupt city. So every weekend it was like, all right, what college are we road tripping to?
Exactly,
So we
yeah.
just pick a boy that we knew, like, hey, man, what's up? Okay, cool, we're coming out to Western, and carload way out there. Go up to Central, go up to Ferris. Ferris can party their ass off, too.
Man, I'm sure the tales of Stick are long and very interesting tales. We've had some conversations off air, so I know a few things. But anywho, that's all today for the Morning Woodward Show. It is all over. Time flies when you're having fun and when you're having meltdowns like myself. What is it? Another day that ends with Y. But tomorrow, Jeff Iafredi will be back. Thank you so much, Stick, for filling it. This was a lot of fun.
Hey, happy to pinch hit when y'all call on me. But yeah, this early morning stuff, I don't know if I can do it all the time anymore.
That is all right. But thank you again. Thank you to Lucas Klotz for always being great, and JB Smoove as well.
Shout out Flannel, shout out Stick, shout out JB.
Man.
Yeah, thank you, fellas.
The Morning Woodward Show has the best group of guys as a crew in the entire... I'd take you guys over any show in the land. And you, audience, even though you guys make me mad sometimes, thank you so much for being a part of the stream.
Thanks for the love, chat.
Absolutely.
Appreciate y'all.
Absolutely. Tune into all the other shows, Big D Energy, Your Money and Edwards with Maz, Heavyweights, and Woodward Nights. But until tomorrow, we will see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. Peace.